At the very beginning of this story, the father gave his son a necklace with the name Summer, which was the most secret inheritance of his mother. He asked him wear it when he has problems that he cannot solve, or when he feels some serious changes in his body. The son asked his father who his mother was, but suddenly the father disappeared and there was no one to ask. Xiangtian woke up and wondered what happened to him. He was in complete shock and misunderstanding. Next, a nurse came in and was glad that he had already woken up. But then he was shocked to see her in a very strange form and began to scream. The nurse herself was very scared of him. She asked him to lie down because he was seriously injured and it was a miracle that he woke up. Xiangtian wondered what happened to him. The nurse was shocked that he didn't remember anything. She went on to say that he saved a little girl and was almost hit by a car. The guy remembered this and asked if everything was okay with the child. A woman with flowers came in at that moment and said that her daughter was fine. At this moment, Xiangtian began to bleed again, just like when he saw the nurse in a strange form for him. The woman asked what happened. Xiangtian, after wiping off the blood, said that it was nothing and that perhaps these were the consequences of the accident, because now he constantly sees some kind of visions. The woman said she knows he saved her daughter's life and that she is grateful to him for that. She further promised to give him enough money to compensate and said that he did not need to justify himself to blackmail her. Xiangtian asked the woman if she really believed that he was lying to her in order to simply ask her for money. The woman did not answer this question and asked if 1 million would be enough for him, or better yet 2. Xiangtian shouted that it was not because of this that he saved her and that he did not need her money, and began to get up after that. The nurse told him that he could not get out of bed because he was not yet well. Xiangtian had already arrived at the door and the woman asked him what about $5 million. Xiangtian said that he did not need anything from her, because a girl's life cannot be measured in money. Coming out of the room, he saw the same girl in front of him. The girl asked him about the older brother who saved her. He commented that it was him, and she thanked him for it. Xiangtian said that there is nothing to thank him for, because he does not regret saving her at all. Then he saw a nurse who followed him out of the room and he asked her if he could ask her for one small request. The nurse agreed. The guy also asked me to borrow some money to get him home. The nurse gave him money for travel. Xiangtian thanked her and said that one day he would definitely repay her this debt. The nurse said that her name was Bai Yu Yu and that he could just keep the money for himself without returning anything. The guy decided that one day he would definitely find a way to thank her. After that, he began to leave. Bai Yu Yu wondered what kind of person he was, and she became very interested. Arriving home, he was glad that he was finally home, and it looked like no one was there yet. Then he remembered about the necklace, and now he will have to put it on, because something is wrong with it. Taking it out of the box, he thought that right now he was seriously injured and gained the ability to see through objects, and this moment must have come. Having put it on, he saw the glow of the pendant and lost consciousness. After he came to his senses, he wondered what was going on and where the glow of the pendant had disappeared. Then he thought that his wounds had also healed, and therefore most likely he did not need a bandage, which he then began to remove. When removing the bandage, he noticed that his skin was shedding and wondered if it was all because of the pendant. Then he realized that this was a disgusting feeling, and therefore he needed to take a shower as soon as possible. But before he had time to completely remove the bandage and start going to the shower, at the same moment a girl came in and asked who he was. And the first thing that came to mind was to say that he is a teddy bear. Then another girl came to them and asked what was happening here. The girl said that he was a scoundrel and a pervert. The Qingshui girl told her not to be afraid because he was her cousin, and she had already taught him a lesson for her. Next, she asked him where he had been for the last 2 days, because she tried to call him, but his phone was not working. Xiangtian asked what the other 2 days were and what date it was today. The girl said that today is the 16th. He can't believe that he spent 2 whole days in the hospital. Qingshui further said that after a 2-day absence, she finds him spying on her friend. Xiangtian said that it was not his fault, and besides, she was covered with a towel, so he still couldn't see anything. The friend considered that this was true, and that she was indeed completely covered with a towel. She still didn't understand how he saw the teddy bear, after which she told Qingshui that her cousin was very strange. Further, while in class, Xiangtian saw that after he put on this pendant, his body became lighter and his strength also increased with speed. The master asked him if he had served before, because he was in good shape. Xiangtian said that no, because he was still only 19. The master asked if he would like to spar with him. Xiangtian expressed that he didn't think it was a good idea to fight someone his age. The master asked what the reason was and whether he was afraid of hurting him, after which he began to attack. After the attack, he asked Xiangtian what he thought now. Xiangtian pondered that apparently he was a martial artist and that he should not miss this opportunity and asked to enlighten him. The master said that nowadays it is rare to find such good and not arrogant guys. Xiangtian said that he would start, after which he actually began, but the master stopped him and threw him away. Xiangtian pondered that it was close, but fortunately his body was lighter than before. The master laughed and told Xiangtian that he had excellent movements and a strong body and that it was his turn. Xiangtian didn't understand how, but somehow he sees the trajectories of the master's attacks and perhaps he can even win. After several attacks, the master realized that Xiangtian was able to see the weak points of his technique, but he did not understand how this was possible. He further realized that Xiangtian had never studied martial arts, but he was attacking him in all his weak points, and told Xiangtian that this was enough and that he needed to stop. Next, the master said that his last name was Fan and asked the guy's name. Xiangtian said his name in response. Fan said he was interested in how he was able to see the weaknesses in his technique. Xiangtian said that it was a coincidence and that he was just lucky. Fan said that now there are talented guys like him, and if he passes by the Greenwood Villa, then let him come in and say that he is looking for Fan. Xiangtian thanked Fan, said goodbye, and walked away from him. While at home, he thought about the fact that there were only 12 days left before the exams and that he needed to study hard. At that moment, Wen Jin came up to him and said that she thought something had happened to him when he disappeared for a couple of days. Xiangtian asks what could have happened to him, and whether she thought that he would commit suicide because she left him. She thought that it was all because of his decision to be a beggar. Next, Xiaotsung approached her and said that he had brought her a French breakfast. Next, he saw Xiangtian and told him that he thought he committed suicide because of broken love. Wen Jin asked Xiao Kong not to speak like that. Next, Xiao Kong quietly told Xiangtian that he was just a crammer who couldn't even hold a girl and wondered what the point was in his studying in this case. Then Chili intervened between them and asked Xiaotsung what class he was from and how he even dared to come to this granny's class and bother her classmates. Xiaotsung told her that this had nothing to do with her and asked her not to interfere. Chili asked what he would do if she interfered. Xiaotsung left without answering. Chili told Xiangtian that there was no need to thank her for this because she also despised nerds like him, but he was her classmate, so she covered for him. Xiangtian said that this was not what he was trying to say when she covered him, but that she stepped on his foot. Chili asked how dare he tell her this when she came to his defense and said that he shouldn't have stood so close. Then the teacher came into the class and told everyone to sit down because the lesson was starting and today there would be a trial exam. Chili told Xiangtian that they weren't done with him yet, after which she and her other classmates left. The teacher was indignant and asked where they were going when the lesson had already started. After leaving the door, Chili told her classmates to go and write a sample instead of her and take not the last place. They agreed. During the exam, Xiangtian noticed that as soon as he saw the questions, the answers to them themselves came to his mind and he didn't even need to count anything. He decided to mark all the answers and go to the teacher. A couple of minutes later, he approached the teacher and said that he wanted to hand in the work. The teacher asked what was wrong and why he finished so quickly. She further said that there was no need to write just anything, because she had high hopes for him. Xiangtian answered the teacher that he answered all the questions seriously and she could see for herself. After him, those classmates who had asked the sampler to write Chili instead of her wrote and submitted their work. Then they ran out of the classroom and ran up to Chili, saying that they were finished. Chili asked what was going on and why Xiangtian came out even faster than them. One of them said she thought he just filled in all the answers at random and turned in his work. Next, they saw that Xiangtian was approached by his enemies, and Chili's classmates asked her if they should help him. Chili said that they would wait until they beat him a little. Xiaokong told Xiangtian that he was ashamed of him for not even touching Wenjian, even though she was so cute. Xiangtian said that they were not in a relationship for that long, and he can do whatever he wants with her without reporting anything to him. Xiaokong told Xiangtian that he did not deserve to fight him for the girl, and that he had already lost. But at the same time, he said that he hates when someone touches his toys, and therefore he will help him forget her, and they began to fight. Xiangtian defeated Xiaokong and all his assistants, and everyone watching was surprised. Someone asked me, not seeing who was fighting there. Someone said that Xiangtian was among them. Someone asked who he was that he dared to beat Xiaotsung. One of Chili's classmates asked her if Xiangtian had always been so good at fighting. Another said that although Xiaotsung's gang was notorious, he dealt with everyone alone. Chili thought, without answering her classmates, that she had always dreamed of becoming a heroine, and if she could learn a few moves from him, then her dream could come true. Xiao Tsung stood up and asked Xiang Tian how he managed to defeat everyone. Xiang Tian told him that he should go get checked for diarrhea after returning home. Xiao Kong asked Xiang Tian what other diarrhea was and what he was talking about. While leaving, Xiang Tian warned that he was not someone they could afford to offend and asked not to come into his sight again. Otherwise, they would not get off as easily as this time. While Xiang Tian was walking, Chili stopped him. Xiang Tian asked her what she wanted. Chili replied that she wanted him to teach her martial arts. Xiang Tian asked what nonsense she was talking about and said that he didn't know any martial arts. Chili grabbed his hand and asked him to teach, despite his words. Xiang Tian asked not to yell at him and let go of his hand now. Chili asked not to lie to her because she saw him beat 4 guys with martial arts. Xiang Tian thought that those movements were completely copied from Mr. Fan and told Chili that he had already said that he did not know any martial arts. One of those watching everything that was happening said to the other that Xiang Tian is really good, because first he beat Xiao Tsung's gang, and now he is flirting with Chili. Meanwhile, one of the servants approached Mr. Fang and said that they found out what he asked. Mr. Fan asked me to tell him. The servant began to tell him that Xiang Tian was 19 years old, his mother disappeared after giving birth, and his father died when he was 14. He is now a student at Jianghai High School with excellent academic performance. The servant then continued that a couple of days ago, he saved the life of Zhen Ryu's daughter, who is a businessman from the Zhen family, one of the 4 major families of Jianghai, and left the hospital without taking compensation. The servant also said that he is now living in the house of his cousin, who works in different places to earn money. Fan asked if they had learned anything about their father and mother. The servant commented that they couldn't because all information about them is classified. The servant added that the father has a security level of A, and the mother has an S, and that they do not have enough authority for this. Fan wondered why they were faced with classified information. Fan further asked what about Quicksand. The servant said that apparently they had noticed him too, but it didn't seem like they wanted to kill him, and rather, they wanted some of his things. Fan said that Jianghai has been unsettled lately, and that it is time for him to leave the city. Fan then ordered his servants to remain in the city in order to protect Xiang Tian and kill anyone who tried to harm him. The servant said that Xiang Tian was sensitive and could detect them if they set up surveillance. Mr. Fan said that in this case, let them protect him from a distance and report to him about all the actions of the Quicksand, because besides them, no one else would dare to cause disturbances on his territory. Meanwhile, in Jianghai City, in an assassination organization called Quicksand, a servant walked into the Bat Lord's office and asked when they would strike. Lord Bat said that it was still early, and for now they just need to continue to monitor him and attack only when they find out the location of the secret scroll. The servant said that they would do whatever he asked. Next, Lord Bat ordered his servants to keep an eye on Xiang Tian, and if anyone attacked him, kill them immediately. Meanwhile, on the shopping street of Jianghai City, Chili noticed Xiang Tian and asked him, running after him, when he was finally going to teach her martial arts. Xiang Tian commented to her that he had already said that he was not a master, and that he only knew a couple of tricks, which in the future he would better pass on to his wife and children. Chile asked to be accepted in this case. Xiang Tian replied that he had no intention of adopting anyone. Chile said that she meant to marry her, because then he could pass on his martial arts. Xiang Tian said that he does not want to marry a girl who has neither face nor breasts. Chile said that there is no need to be so demanding because you can just enjoy what you have. Xiang Tian said that this would never happen. She further told him that there was a sale of instant lottery tickets not far from them and invited him to try it together too. Xiang Tian asked her what was the point of buying her a lottery ticket, since her family was already very rich. Chili said that this was just a test of his luck and that money was not the most important thing. After that, Xiang Tian went with her to the place where instant lottery tickets were sold, because he himself became very interested in testing his luck. Chili approached the sales point and asked for a pair of instant tickets. A man who had already bought one ticket told her that she would simply lose money and that small children could not understand anything about the lottery. Chili asked the man how dare he talk to his aunt like that. Xiang Tian approached them and asked if they had gathered here for prizes and said that he would play with them. After the tickets purchased by Xiang Tian turned out to be winning, Xiang Tian told the seller to give him $700 in cash, and with the rest, he would buy tickets. The seller agreed. Chili said she might not be so lucky this time. The man, who continued to stand and watch after his winnings, told Xiang Tian that he loves it when people like him spend all their winnings in the hope of getting even more. Xiang Tian thought that he didn't care about that man's words because he had no intention of losing. And after all the tickets turned out to be winning, everyone except him was surprised, thinking that this was impossible. Further, Xiang Tian did not continue to try his luck because this was enough for him. On the way further, Chili told Xiang Tian that he was incredible because you need to be able to win more than $5,000 by simply erasing a couple of lottery tickets. Chili also asked him to teach her this. Xiang Tian asked if she had wanted to learn martial arts before asking her to learn how to look for lottery tickets. Chili said that she still wants martial arts too. Next, he called his cousin and said that since his phone broke a couple of days ago, he bought himself a new one and asked where he should go in the evening. Having heard the place, he said that he understood everything and that he would be there. Then he hailed a taxi and was about to get into it. Chili asked where he was going. Xiang Tian commented to her that she should not follow her because he had important things to do. After that, he got into a taxi car and left. Arriving and already on the antique street, Xiang Tian thought that he could not believe that his cousin asked him to portray her boyfriend at her birthday party. But then he thought that this was his mistake, that he had completely forgotten about her birthday, and therefore he could not refuse her, because she had better prepare a good gift for her now. Meanwhile, Master Shu, who is an expert in antique appraisal, was walking down the street. Everyone asked him to quickly give way so that he could pass calmly, and after he arrived at the right place, everyone greeted him. Xiang Tian thought that it looks like there are some worthwhile things here, and if it weren't for his supervision, he wouldn't have understood anything because he can now distinguish a fake from an original. When he saw the jade, he asked the seller how much he wanted for it. The seller said that he could see the sincerity in his heart, so he would sell it for only $8,000. Xiang Tian said that it is too expensive, and he is a simple student who does not have that much money. Shu looked at all this and thought that Xiang Tian had a great look and was therefore willing to help him once. The seller was pondering that Master Shu was looking in his direction, and he wondered if he would approach him and expose him. Xiang Tian asked how about 2,000 because he knows that it is fake. The seller said that he could not sell it to him for less than 5,000. Xiang Tian said that he would only agree to such a sum if he added the useless stones he specified. The seller agreed and asked permission to pack it all for him. Next, Master Shu turned to Xiang Tian and told him that he was a good merchant and knew how to choose the right words. But he is sorry that he still fell for the trick. He further said that this piece of jade costs only $200, and it's a pity that he is too inexperienced and paid as much as 5,000 for it. Xiang Tian asked if this was true and deliberately dropped it on the ground. Master Shu asked if he knew it was fake. Xiang Tian asked if he meant to say that he also has a good eye. Next, Xiang Tian thought that what he actually wanted was what he had left intact, and he still had an ancient relic left intact, condensed after the death of an outstanding monk. And he had only heard about such things in legends, but he never thought that he would be able to get at least one of them. Master Shu pondered that all of his family's property was now in the hands of his nephew Shu Qing, and he had been trying to recruit talented people for many years, hoping to one day return everything that was his. He further thought that perhaps Xiang Tian was just one of those rare talents that he was looking for. After his thoughts, he asked Xiang Tian to wait a little and asked if he wanted to have a little competition with him. Xiang Tian asked what the competition was about. One of the observers said that Xiang Tian is ignorant and he doesn't even know about Master Shu's skills. Another said that since the master proposes to arrange a fortune, it will be in the appraisal of antiques. Master Shu said that as everyone had said, he was a famous appraiser on the ancient street and asked me if he would accept his offer. Xiang Tian agreed and said that if he loses, he will give him his life, and if he wins, he will buy him something. Master Shu said that this was a bold proposal and that he did not know what it could do with his life. Xiang Tian said that he could do whatever he wanted. Master Shu asked if he would serve him if he lost. Xiang Tian agreed. One of the entourage said that Xiang Tian has balls since he agreed to compete with Master Shu in assessing antiques. Next, many things were prepared, and Master Shu asked Xiang Tian to show which of the things were genuine. Master Shu said that Xiang Tian would win if he named at least 3 things correctly. Xiang Tian said that he would accept defeat if he made a mistake even once. Master Shu told him that he had great confidence in himself and agreed to his proposal. Xiang Tian took the box and said that it was real. Master Shu said that this is correct, because this is a dressing box that was used by Empress Dowager Cixi of the Qin dynasty. Next, Xiang Tian asked Master Shu if he could break the fakes to prove his words. Master Shu agreed and said that he could afford to pay for them all. Xiang Tian was delighted and thanked him for this. After that, Xiang Tian broke the vase. One of the people around said that Xiang Tian simply ruined her. Another person around said that this porcelain vase looked real, but Xiang Tian took a piece and pointed out that there was a company seal there. Master Shu asked Xiang Tian how he knew there was a seal inside the vase. Xiang Tian said that he just has a diamond eye. Then he broke a saucer and another thing. Master Shu said that he won, and accordingly, he can choose something. Xiang Tian chose the bracelet and said that he wanted to take it. Master Shu wondered that this bracelet was just an insignificant thing that he put in to confuse him. But why did he choose it? The surrounding people, after they saw that it was bloody jade, began to ask to sell it to them for 2 million. Xiang Tian said that this bracelet is not for sale. Master Shu asked Xiang Tian how about becoming friends. Xiang Tian thought that his whole world had changed after he gained these abilities. Perhaps soon he will begin to explore the secrets of his parents. He further told Master Shu that having Master Shu as a friend is a blessing for 3 lives ahead, and thought that he needed connections in order to make a name for himself. Master Shu asked him what his name was. Xiang Tian replied. Some time ago, Shu Xiaohua asked about the results of an examination of someone important to him. The doctor replied that there were none, because it was impossible to examine a patient who could not spend even half a minute without using the toilet. The doctor also told Shu Xiaohua back then that they had already checked the stool to rule out possible drug-related factors. Shu Xiaohua's assistant told him that they learned from the young master that he had a conflict with disciple Xiang Tian. The assistant further added that he told him that he needed to be checked for diarrhea upon returning home. Shu Xiaohua asked if they sent someone to fetch him. The assistant said that they had already sent Asan with 2 assistants. Asan told Xiang Tian that he should go with him. Xiang Tian asked him who he even was to go with him. Master Shu asked him to be careful with him because this is Shu Xiaohua Asan's personal bodyguard and he is very strong. Next, Master Shu asked Xiang Tian how he managed to provoke him in the first place. Asan told Master Shu that since he was Master Shu's uncle, he could let him go as long as he didn't get involved. Xiang Tian thought that it turns out that they are relatives. Master Shu told Asan that Xiang Tian was his friend, and he would not allow him to be touched as long as he was near him. Master Shu asked Asan if he thought he could do whatever he wanted just because Shu Xiaohua was behind him. Asan ordered his servants to take it. Xiang Tian knocked out everyone who tried to harm him with his blows. After that, Xiang Tian asked Asan if he still wanted to grab him and thought that he really looked strong and it was better to scare him a little. Asan told Xiang Tian that he fought well, but he was still too young. Next, Asan asked Xiang Tian what connected him with Fan Shufeng. Xiang Tian, without answering, asked Asan what the point of this useless talk was and said that if that's what he wanted, then let him attack him. Xiang Tian thought that if he had something in common with him, he would have learned more techniques from him. Asan said that if this was so, then let him not blame him for cruelty later. Xiang Tian thought that it looked like he would have to fight him after all. Next, many people came up to Asan and asked Asan if he was a famous bodyguard. Asan turned to them and asked if they were servants of the Quicksand. One of the servants said that since he knows who they are, then let him get out of here, because they have important business with Xiang Tian. Asan said that he was ordered to bring this guy, so he must pick him up. Asan also said that he did not want to conflict with them and asked if they could come to an agreement. One of the ministers said that this is impossible, because this guy is needed by someone at the top of the organization, so he must leave with nothing. Asan thought that they were from a famous assassin organization, and even if he could win now, it would only provoke them, so he could not afford to offend the Quicksand, and said that he agreed to retreat today. Asan went to raise his assistants and asked them to leave. Xiang Tian wondered what was going on, because even Asan did not dare to go against these guys, and he also wondered why they decided to save him. Xiang Tian asked these guys who they were. One of them commented that they just needed something from him and asked him to give them the relic that his father left him. Xiang Tian asked what kind of relic this was. Another of them said that this was a certain scroll that belonged to his father, and they were giving him a week to find and bring it to them. Otherwise, he should not blame them for cruelty. Xiang Tian said that he did not remember his father leaving him any scroll. One of the ministers said that they didn't care where he found it, but he needed to find it so as not to die a terrible death. Xiang Tian said that he did not know where to look and asked if they could tell us more about what they wanted. Master Shu asked Xiang Tian what was going on and what they wanted from him. Xiang Tian said that they must have just confused him with someone and everything was fine, and thought that he only had a week to search the house. Then at the birthday party, everyone congratulated cousin Xiang Tian, and she thanked everyone for their congratulations. But at one point, a man came and asked Miss Qingxue to let him give her his gift. Many people said that this was Wan Nianling from the Wan family, one of the 4 main families of Zhenghai. No one compares to him, and it looks like he is Ye Qingxue's loyal fan. Qingxue thought that he had already shown himself, but Xiang Tian was still not there. Next, a red-haired woman approached Qing Shui and asked for forgiveness for being late. She then showed the gift she had prepared for him. Looking at him, Qing Shui asked if this was true for her. The woman said that she understood everything correctly. People around said that this was a very rare and expensive antique, which today is unlikely to be surpassed by anyone. Wan Nianling thought that he didn't expect that he would lose to a woman today, but it's okay, because women are not his competitors and he just needs to surpass all men. Wan Nianling knelt down and told Qing Shui that on this special day, he asks her to accept his love for her and a modest gift from him. Those around her advised her to agree to this proposal. Wan Nianling thought that this was an ideal atmosphere, and she would not be able to refuse under such pressure, and as soon as she accepted his flowers, he would celebrate his victory. At this moment, Xiang Tian came in and asked Qing Shui for forgiveness for being late. Qing Shui was happy that he had finally come, ran up to him and told everyone present that she wanted to introduce her boyfriend Xiang Tian to them all. Wan Nianling wondered what kind of homeless person this was, who obviously didn't even have a car. Next, Wan Nianling turned to Qing Shui and said that it looks like her boyfriend is here empty-handed because he most likely didn't even buy her a gift. Qing Shui told him in response that she was happy just to be around him. Xiang Tian asked Qing Shui whether she really thought that he would come without a gift and then gave her a bloody jade bracelet. Qing Shui said that this was a priceless treasure and asked where he found it. Xiang Tian said that she understood everything correctly, that this is not some cheap thing that she can buy in any store. Qing Shui asked where he got so much money for it. Xiang Tian said that she shouldn't ruin the moment. Xiang Tian also said that this was not his entire gift and offered to go with him. Approaching the doors, he invited her to open the door and look. Qing Shui asked if the hall outside the door was not just that. But when she opened the door, she saw beauty. There were rose petals falling from the ceiling and many men wishing her a happy birthday. Xiang Tian said that since there was not enough space in the room at home, he allowed them to camp here. Then Xiang Tian said that that's not all and suggested looking outside. Seeing the fireworks, Qing Shui said that it was so beautiful and thought that if he were her real boyfriend, she would be happy, but he is only a cousin. Xiang Tian thought that it was all Master Shu's doing, and he didn't expect that he would want to do so much for him. Then his car drove up and he and Qing Shui went and got into the car with Master Shu. Qing Shui told Master Shu that it was all thanks to his help and that she was really shocked when she received the priceless blood jade. Master Shu told Qing Shui that it seemed like she had misunderstood and that the blood jade was entirely Xiang Tian's doing, since he was the one who found it among a pile of antiques with his abilities. Qing Shui thought that it turns out that this is true, but she didn't understand when Xiang Tian became an expert in appraising antiques. Xiang Tian said that he was just lucky. Next, Xiang Tian noticed a van with the girl he saved. After that, he told Master Shu to follow the wagon. Master Shu thought that he didn't know what was going on, but since he said so, then it's not time to doubt. After that, he turned the car around and began to follow the van. Qing Shui asked Xiang Tian what was going on. Xiang Tian told Master Shu that when they caught up with the van, they should take the two to a safe place and anonymously call the police and tell them that Zhen Ryu and her daughter had been kidnapped. The van brought them to some strange place and they all got out. Zhen Ryu told the kidnappers that she knew who sent them and that they were people who wanted part of her shares in the company and asked if this was true. One of the kidnappers told her that since she knew this, then just shut up while they just recorded a short video of her and left. Next, they began to grab Zhen Ryu and her daughter and separate them. Zhen Ryu asked for help. Then Xiang Tian appeared nearby and told the kidnappers that they had better stop all this because the police would soon be in this place. One of the kidnappers asked him who he was. The other kidnappers said someone wanted to die. The chief of the kidnappers said that someone interrupted them halfway and decided that since the mission had failed, it was time to end it and pointed a gun at Zhen Ryu and fired. But the bullet did not have time to reach her, as Xiang Tian stood up for her. The kidnapper said that he deserved it because no one asked him to be a hero, and then he said that it was now time to return to where they left off. Xiang Tian, with a bullet and a wound, stood up and defeated all the kidnappers and told Zhen Ryu and her daughter that it was time to get out of here, and they went away from the kidnappers. Zhen Ryu said that they needed to call an ambulance because he had a bullet wound. Xiang Tian said that he could not go to the hospital and said that his house was not far from here and suggested going there. They came to his home and Zhen Ryu began bandaging, and during the bandaging she asked Xiang Tian why he didn't want to go to the hospital, because he was bleeding heavily and it was difficult to stop in such conditions. Xiang Tian thought that his body had somehow changed, and if he went to the hospital, he would most likely become a lab rat. And Zhen Ryu did not say anything to her question. but this was not necessary, because the relic began to glow. Genryu asked what the glow was in his pocket. Having taken out this glowing thing, she could not hold it because it was hot. Then this thing fell on the wound, and Xiangtian's wound disappeared, and Genryu did not understand how this was possible. Her daughter was outside the door at that moment, and at that moment she came in and asked Genryu how Xiangtian was feeling. Genryu told her that he was fine, and she also said that he should be allowed to rest a little. It turns out he was unconscious for some time, and when he woke up, he wondered what it was all about. Looking at the wound, he saw that it had disappeared, and that in its place lay the relic he had acquired. Xiangtian wondered if this was all because of the relic, and getting up and starting to move away from the sleeping Genryu and her daughter, he thought that a lot had happened recently, which had completely changed his ordinary life. He further thought while getting dressed that first a mysterious pendant, then a martial arts master, then a master in antique appraisal, and even an organization of assassins was pursuing him. At that moment, someone knocked on the door, and he went to the door. Opening the door, he saw the servants of the Quicksand, and one of them said that the week had not yet passed. But he had not even started the search, and apparently he really wanted to die. He gave him one last chance and said that he had to find him today. Xiangtian said that he did not know about any scroll and asked how he should find it. The minister said it looked like he had decided to walk against Quicksand. Xiangtian wondered what he should do, because he now had eyes that could see their movements, but he still didn't know what they were capable of, and he couldn't believe that he might die today. Having tried to kill Xiangtian, the servants did not succeed because he repelled all their attacks. One of the servants thought that Xiangtian was using Fang Qiufeng's martial technique, and he was clearly somehow related to Fang Qiufeng and should not be underestimated. Another one of them thought that allowing Xiangtian to hide in the Green Forest Villa would cause them problems. At that moment, Genryu came out with an iron and told the servants to get out of here as quickly as possible. Xiangtian asked Genryu what she was doing and said that she had better go back to the house. Genryu refused because he saved her and her daughter's life, and therefore she cannot let him die. Xiangtian said that he was surprised because at the beginning he really hated her and never expected her to show such courage because in this case, he definitely couldn't retreat. The attendant asked why they were flirting before they died. Then they were joined by Jian Yuanhong, the #1 swordmaster in the world. She killed 2 servants and told the third to take their bodies and leave. After that, he turned to Xiangtian and asked if he had found the one he was looking for. Xiangtian said his name, and he was convinced that it was him. Xiangtian thought further that this guy was so fast that even he could not see his movements. Jian Yuanhong told Xiangtian that he was very similar to him, and also adopted his courage. Jian Yuanhong said that he needed to break the pendant that was hanging on his chest. Xiangtian asked why this needed to be done, and said that this was a relic left to him from his mother. Jian Yuanhong said that he should not worry, because this pendant was made by his father, and the real relic is inside. Xiangtian wondered that even if that was the case, how could he break the gemstone with his own hands? Having tried to break it, he succeeded and said that it turns out that it was what those people wanted, and the scroll turned out to be inside the pendant all this time. Jian Yuanhong said that his father wanted to protect him from all this, so he created the pendant and said that it was an heirloom left to him from his mother. Xiangtian asked what his father was like. Jian Yuanhong replied that he wanted him to live an ordinary life, peaceful and calm. So all he can tell him is that his father was a great man. Xiangtian asked Jian Yuanhong if he still believed that he could live a normal life in peace. Jian Yuanhong commented that this is why he is here, because he wants him to become his disciple. Xiangtian then greeted him as a great master. Jian Yuanhong said that there was only a short time left before the entrance exams, and his father wished that he could take the exams calmly, so he needed to prepare. Then Jian Yuanhong said that they would take care of his education after graduation and left. Genryu walked up to Xiangtian and asked if he was okay. He replied that he was fine and thought that now he could become stronger. On the way to the meeting, Xiangtian caught up with Chili and asked when he would teach her martial arts. Xiangtian replied that first, he must learn martial arts from his master himself, and besides, she is not his type. Chili asked what kind of girls he liked and whom he agreed to marry. Xiangtian replied that at least these are those who do not dress up like clowns. Her classmates ran up to her and told her not to be angry with him. Arriving at the meeting place, Qingshui drew his attention to where he needed to go. He came over and sat down at the table opposite them. Qingshui asked if he was okay since he scared her to death yesterday. She further asked him if they should not have at least called, and thanked Master Shu, since he took all subsequent matters into his own hands. Xiangtian commented that there was no need to worry, because he had already spoken to him on the phone. Next, Xiangtian thought that it was Master Shu himself who thanked him, because he agreed to participate in the tournament for him to help resolve the issue with his nephew, and seeing that he is quite famous, being in his debt would not be a loss. Qingshui further said that she wanted to ask him to do something for her. Xiangtian wondered if she should beg him since she was his cousin. She replied that instead of begging, she would rather order him to do so. Xiangtian said that he recognizes her now. Qingshui said that he should shut up and just listen. She went on to say that she wanted him to play basketball today for their art department. At that moment, her team's rivals came in and asked what was going on here and was she really looking for outside help. She also said that she heard that all the people in the art department were women who couldn't find enough men. Xiangtian told her that she was a beauty with a height of 175 centimeters and a leg length of 114 centimeters, and besides, she had an ideal figure and he asked her to marry him. The girl called him a bastard and asked him what the hell he was talking about. She further told Qingshui that instead of making up for the missing number of people with pathetic guys like Xiangtian, then it would be better to immediately admit defeat. Qingshui said, in response, that she shouldn't care who she calls on the team, and said that it would be better for her to just make sure that she doesn't forget about their bet, and if she wins, she will call her big sister every time they meet in the future. The rival told Qingshui that she would rather call her big sister. Xiangtian thought that they were already adults, but they acted like little children and made a bet. Next, Xiangtian asked Qingshui's rival what she would say if he also bet. She asked why. He replied that if she lost, she would become his little wife and call him Big Hubby every time they met. She asked how dare he, then swung her foot at him. But after his hand stopped her leg, she said that she accepted the bet. But if he lost, he would run through the whole school completely naked. Xiangtian agreed. Qingshui asked if he even had a conscience and how dare he make her worst enemy his wife. Xiangtian replied that he was not a wife, but just a little wife, and thought that he only dared not dodge his cousin's fist. During the game, the opponent told Qingshui that this time she will only put one first-level player, and the rest will be second-level, so then don't let her say that she is bullying her. Next, Xiangtian asked Qingshui if these were all the players they had, because if so, then they didn't even reach the minimum required number. Qingshui told Xiangtian that she needed to wait a little longer. A little more time passed, and they met two more. Qingshui said that the rest of her help was from outside in the form of Hu Peng and Yan Shu. Xiangtian said that now at least they have enough players. Before the start of the game itself, Fan Li came out to the game amid applause and shouts of support, saying that he receives flowers and applause everywhere he goes because he is so handsome. But he just wants to live the peaceful and quiet life of a handsome man. Qingshui wondered if Fan Li was their main player, since he is quite a popular basketball player. The rival told Fan Li that if he continued to behave like this, she would kill him. After which Fan Li said that he would do whatever she said. Xiangtian thought that apparently no one came to support the art department team. Next, a girl came up and said that she would be their support team during this game. While they were going into position, one of the players told the main player that he should just try to win the ball and pass it to them, and then he could play in any position. Xiangtian thought that he did not want to show his strength yet. While watching the game, Xiangtian realized that it would not be easy even if he showed his strength. He noticed that during the entire game, the opposing leader did not give the ball to anyone for some reason. During the break, this leader said that he and another player told the team where Xiangtian was that they were two professionals, and accordingly, he no longer wanted to play with amateurs. The substitutes told them that they explained the situation before the game, and the fact is that the opponents did not give them the ball, and there is no need to blame them for not defeating them. The leader said that now they will not be able to even the score. Xiangtian told the two people from the art department to enter the game, and he didn't care who it was. He said that if they couldn't change the situation, then it wasn't a problem, and that he would help. Hu Peng said after the start of the second half that basketball is a sport for real men, and Xiangtian clearly cannot win. Yan Shu suggested just to see what tricks he could do. Fan Li said that they continued to play, but this time they had even less time. The girl said that we need to continue gaining points. Meanwhile, Xiangtian, judging by the shouts, is about to throw the ball from his territory. As a result, he scored a goal across the field, and many began to say that he was a basketball genius. Xiangtian said that this is just the beginning. As a result, Xiangtian led the team to victory. Next, he asked who said that he would bark like a dog. The leader said that it was just luck and it doesn't count, so he asked for a rematch and then he will definitely bark like a dog if he wins. The girl on the opposing team thought that Xiangtian was truly a basketball genius, and if she could recruit him to the team, he would be even stronger in the future, But at this moment, she remembered that she should call him Big Hubby. One day, Xiang Tian thought that this daily routine was not important and came to Zhan Yuanhong. Zhan Yuanhong came out and said that his father never mentioned anything about martial arts because he didn't want him to follow in his footsteps. He further added that since he entered this path, he will fulfill his promise to his father, and from today he promised to teach him cloud steps and sharp fingers. Xiang Tian asked what kind of sharp fingers these were. Xiang Tian wondered that he had seen this technique in TV series and wondered if Lu Xiaofeng really mastered it. Zhan Yuanhong commented that this was his father's famous technique. Xiang Tian asked if his father was the previous master and thought that he would look, because perhaps he could learn more about his father. Zhan Yuanhong said that he had not yet practiced these two techniques, so he would teach internal methods. Xiang Tian realized that he was avoiding the topic of conversation. Zhan Yuanhong continued that these two techniques focus on the 8 paths of the human body and attack accuracy. After these words, Xiang Tian remembered that as a child, his father taught him the 8 paths of the body. At the time, he thought it was just Dad's hobby, but he didn't expect that he was laying the foundation for it back then. Zhan Yuanhong said that his talent is the best he has ever seen, and he will definitely continue his father's legacy. At some point, 2 guys approached Qing Shui. One of them asked her how about having a drink with them and grabbed her hand. The second supported him to be more relaxed. Qing Shui asked to let her go. Then she saw Yin Shu not far from her and asked him to help her. He told her that he would only help her if she promised to become his girlfriend. Qing Shui asked how he could take advantage of the fact that a person was in danger. Then Qing Shui's friends came to this incident and asked the guys to let Qing Shui go. Yin Yu told Qing Shui that she could not avoid these troubles. Their sports department is right next door, and they will send someone if she becomes his. Qing Shui told him not to even think about it. Yin Shu said that they would leave it aside and reminded him that last time he talked about the bet. At that moment, a man approached from behind, much taller, stronger, and more mature than him. He asked Yin Shu if he was her boyfriend. Yin Shu said that he did not know her and then went out of the way. And this man asked Qing Shui if she would go with him. Qing Shui's friends asked him not to pester their friend. He told everyone present that it was better for them all to get out of his sight and be careful that he didn't break their necks, because he could do that very easily. At this moment, Qing Shui called Xiang Tian and asked him to come and help her. Xiang Tian agreed and thought that it was time to practice the skills that his master taught him and, above all, the immortal steps of the wandering clouds. Meanwhile, the man realized that they were not going to leave and knock them out, saying that they didn't even know what they were made of. He also said that the soundproofing in this room is very good and no one will hear their cries for help. At that moment, Xiang Tian came in and said that not only would no one hear, but no one would see, and thought that the time had come to test the sharp fingers. The man was not alone, and he ordered his assistants to beat Xiang Tian to death. Xiang Tian defeated all those attacking him except the main man. The man asked Xiang Tian who he even was. Xiang Tian asked if he had said before that this room was well soundproofed. Then he dealt him a strong blow and told him in his own words that no one would come, even if he screamed at the top of his lungs. He beat him to death, broke his bones, and told him it was all over. After the fight, an ambulance and police arrived. The ambulance took the man, and the police took Xiang Tian. Qing Shui asked why they were taking him away, since he saved everyone. The police responded that they had taken him in to assist in the investigation. Xiang Tian asked Qing Shui not to worry, because his case should not be considered as an attack, but as self-defense, and therefore nothing should happen to him. The man who was being taken away in an ambulance asked to find the best lawyer, and best of all Mr. Liu, because it couldn't end like this. Qing Shui heard this and thought that she didn't know what trump cards he had, and she would have to deal with it. Qing Shui called her mother and said that something happened to Xiang Tian. Mom told her that she already knew everything, and also said that there was no need to worry, because she would take care of everything else. Next, Qing Shui's mother called Mr. Shui and said that she wanted him to help out a guy. He commented that unless it was very important, he couldn't do anything to save someone. Qing Shui's mother told Mr. Shui that the person she wants him to save is Long's son. Hearing this, Mr. Shu told her to wait a while he took care of it. Meanwhile, one of the guests asked Miss Ye if everything was okay. Miss Ye replied that everything was fine and suggested that we continue talking about Bing Bing. Next, Xiang Tian left the police station and thought that this was all extremely strange, because they said that they wanted to sue for assault and bodily harm. But for some reason, they let him go after one phone call. Next, Miss Yi called Xiang Tian and said that he was a capable guy and suddenly began to fight well, after which she asked if he had met Yin Ni. Xiang Tian realized that it was his aunt and asked if she had helped him and said that Yin Ni was now his master. Miss Yi replied that that was exactly what she thought and suggested that he come to her tomorrow because she wanted to talk to him. After the call ended, Xiang Tian wondered what his aunt wanted to talk to him about and what he wanted to tell him. He went to some street cafe and sat down at a table, planning to just have dinner here. Two girls approached him and asked if they could share a table with him. Xiang Tian replied that he was honored to eat at the same table with such two beautiful girls. One of them said that he should just say yes, because there is no need to flirt with anyone. The other girl was the first to say that she didn't have to be like that because this guy was just kind. Xiang Tian told one of them that she was sick. The girl said that he was sick and simply terrible, and that she would put him in prison for harassment. Xiang Tian said that she was mistaken and that he was not harassing her, but simply saying that she was very sick. He further asked if she had recently suffered from insomnia, dry mouth, and bad mood. He also said that if he is not mistaken, then she will not live to see 30 years old. The girl asked how he knew. Xiang Tian further said that to be precise, she would only live to be 27 years old. The girl asked if it wasn't next year. A friend told her not to believe nonsense, after which the girl stood up and offered to leave because she no longer wanted to eat. A friend asked if there was a cure for this disease. Xiang Tian said that she was so angry now that if he told her about the treatment, she would attack him and beat him. A friend asked what the treatment was. Xiang Tian expressed that the cure was to become his wife. The friend said he was funny and said that she was going to convince Bing Bing, so he should call her later. After that, she caught up with Bing Bing and they continued on together. Xiang Tian wondered why she didn't ask him for the price. Xiang Tian ran to his aunt the next day and asked for forgiveness for being late. Bing Bing recognized him and asked if it was him. Aunt asked if they knew each other. Bing Bing replied that she could not help but know such a scoundrel. Bing Bing's mom asked Bing Bing what she was talking about. The aunt asked Xiang Tian what he did to the girl. Xiang Tian replied that it was nothing. The aunt further told Bing Bing that in any case, this is the groom she found for her. Bing Bing said that this is not the same as what she asked for. She asked for tall and majestic, handsome and charming, courteous and elegant. Miss Ye said that she just wanted to help her father get through this difficult time. Xiang Tian thought that his aunt was so brave that he couldn't even contradict her. Bing Bing's mother and father thanked Miss Ye for her support, and then they all left. Xiang Tian asked his aunt what this all meant, and whether she wanted him to pretend to be her fiancé. Auntie replied that yes, this Mayor Lin is a good person, but he has no background. Moreover, according to her, his daughter is persecuting Yu Wenhao from the Yu Wen family, and she offers to be his shield to help them. Xiang Tian asked if she really trusted him that much and wanted him to fight such a powerful family. Aunt replied that this is all because she knows that tigers do not have children from dogs. Xiang Tian said that she says that, but he doesn't even know what his parents are like if she doesn't say anything about them. The aunt said that in exchange for his help, she would give him some information, after which she said that his mother was still alive. Xiang Tian asked if this was all. He also asked what was next and where she was now, but there was no answer. Aunt only replied that it would be better if he didn't know anything. She also asked him to take care of Qing Shui if one day she too disappeared. The next day, while walking around the city, Xiang Tian thought that after his aunt said this, he didn't want to ask any more questions, because she clearly had a reason for not telling him anything. He also thought that he did not expect that his aunt would take advantage of the opportunity and set him a task, which he agreed to like a weakling. At that moment, someone snatched it from the girl's hands and drove away like a thief. Xiang Tian thought that he appeared at the right time, because he was just looking for a way to vent his anger. Next, he used the immortal steps of wandering clouds and began to catch up with the thief. The thief thought that no one could catch up with him, but at some point he noticed Xiang Tian running with him at the same speed and did not understand how this was even possible. He was able to take the bag and force the thief to crash on his own motorcycle. He thought that the thief deserved it. And while Xiang Tian was enjoying the victory, Bing Bing swung her foot at him, and she asked to call her Lin Bing Bing. She further said that she was a police officer, and he was suspected of robbery because he was caught with a stolen bag, after which she asked him to come with her. Xiang Tian tried to justify himself, but he was helped by a girl who ran up to him for her bag, from whom the thief stole the bag. She said that it was not him, and that it was a misunderstanding, and that Xiang Tian was not the one who stole her bag, but the one who helped return it. Lin Bing Bing said that this all sounds a little confusing. Xiang Tian showed where the bag thief was and handed the bag to the girl, who thanked him for it. He also handed her money. The girl did not understand why he was giving her money. Xiang Tian said that it was he who borrowed money from her in the hospital, and he should have returned it a long time ago, but forgot and asked for forgiveness for that. The girl asked if he was the same person who refused 5 million. Xiang Tian said that it was he who asked if that was all she remembered. He also said his name. The girl wanted to invite him to dinner, but he refused. Lin Bingbing asked Xiang Tian to wait because she needed to take a statement from him, but he ran away so quickly that she was surprised and wondered why he was running so fast. And he ran away to his aunt by invitation. Next, Lin Bingbing came to her aunt and asked for being late. She also said that she encountered one case right on the street and just delivered the thief to the police station. She said all this with her eyes closed. Opening her eyes, Lin Bingbing saw Xiang Tian next to Miss Ye, and she asked him why it was him again and why it was always him. Xiang Tian asked in response why she didn't ask how he was doing, but asked such strange and meaningless questions. Miss Yi told Lin Bingbing that this time she would need to work together with him, because the task was to track down the place where the level 3 killer was hiding, namely the Dark Knight. Miss Ye went on to say that once they complete this task, they can immediately join the Special Operations Division, which has a rule that you don't ask questions about people or things that you have nothing to do with. Next, she handed the folder to Xiang Tian and said that there is information about this person, and he must find him before he finds out about it, and if he wants to find out about his father's past, then he needs to do what he is told. Next, Xiang Tian and Lin Bingbing left. Lin Bingbing warned Xiang Tian that this was her only chance to get into the Special Operations Department, and if it failed, she would make him suffer. Xiang Tian said that he was asked to help her and she didn't even thank him. Lin Bingbing replied that she did not need his help and that she did not see how he could help her. Xiang Tian asked for a test. He further asked if she knew what the man he pointed to was doing. Lin Bingbing replied that he looked like a white-collar office worker and looked most like a bank employee. Xiang Tian said that he thinks he is a security guard. Lin Bingbing asked if he was joking because guards don't dress like that. Xiang Tian said that he was a security guard, but did not say that he was at work, and asked her if she was wearing ordinary clothes now. Then they witnessed how one asked the other why he was here in these clothes. And another commented to him that he worked on his shift and did not have time to change clothes. Lin Bingbing said that she couldn't believe it, and asked how he knew this. Xiang Tian said that his suit and shoes were clean and well-maintained, which means that he usually does not wear such a suit, and whenever a car appears in the parking lot, he can't help but appreciate the width of the parking space. After that, Xiang Tian asked Lin Bingbing if she thought he was worthy of helping her now. Lin Bingbing replied that in that case, he could continue her search for a goal. They ran further to the bar to look for him there. The DJ asked them to show him their hands and repeat after him, swaying together. Lin Bingbing asked how they would find him now. Xiang Tian asked her to dance with him. Lin Bingbing did not want to and tried to say something, but Xiang Tian interrupted her. Xiang Tian said that he would take care to find him, but there was no need to move so unnaturally. Lin Bingbing thought that it was unlikely that he would be able to find anyone while looking into a dark place like this. Xiang Tian thought that as long as he had these eyes, he could find him even if he was in the dark or disguised. He looked at everyone and said that he was not in this room. Lin Bingbing said that intelligence reported that he was here. Xiang Tian said that the intelligence might be correct and it might be worth waiting a little. Lin Bingbing asked not to touch her. Xiang Tian agreed. Next, he ordered wine from the bartender, and at that moment he noticed the killer. The bartender provided the wine he ordered. Xiang Tian thanked the bartender for this, and told Lin Bingbing that the target had appeared. Lin Bingbing said that he does not look like himself from the profile. Xiang Tian said that he had facial surgery. Lin Bingbing asked how he knew this. Xiang Tian asked her not to look back because he was passing right behind her. Next, Xiang Tian decided to kiss Lin Bingbing. Lin Bingbing asked what he was doing now. Xiang Tian asked her not to move because her behavior was too unnatural and would probably be noticed by him. Lin Bingbing asked what to do next. Lin Bingbing also suggested contacting their superiors because their mission was to find him. Xiang Tian said that each member of the Quicksand has a mission to kill, and if they do not intervene in time, then someone will be killed. Lin Bingbing asked if he really wanted to make an immediate arrest. Xiang Tian said that they should at least try. Lin Bingbing asked if he was still kissing her, since this was her first kiss. The bartender then said that this was a package that had been handed to him and handed him something. The killer accepted and asked to bring him 2 glasses of red bat for the 2 behind him. Xiang Tian suggested forgetting and stopping pretending, because he seemed to have noticed. Lin Bingbing asked why he was kissing her just like that and then offered to go after the killer. Then Xiang Tian noticed that someone wanted to stop them. After dealing with all of them, he ran outside after Lin Bingbing. She told him that they missed him. Xiang Tian said that this is a man from Quicksand, and it would be strange if she managed to catch up with him. Lin Bingbing asked how dare he talk about her like that and why he took so long to come out. Xiang Tian commented that he simply left his phone at the bar and came back to get it. Lin Bingbing asked what they should do now. Xiang Tian said that there was no need to worry, after which he gave her glasses and asked her to put them on. After putting on her glasses, Lin Bingbing was very surprised and asked what she saw. Xiang Tian replied that it was night vision powder. His aunt gave it to him, and he just took the opportunity to sprinkle some on it. Lin Bingbing said that the chase can now continue. Xiang Tian asked if she was really going to chase him. Lin Bingbing asked what was wrong. Xiang Tian replied that she was discovered because she was unnatural, and now she wears such flashy glasses, which arouses even more suspicion. Next, Xiang Tian asked Lin Bingbing to wait, and he approached the girl in appearance and offered to sell him a wig and clothes for 500 yuan. This person asked Xiang Tian what he was talking about since it was real hair. Xiang Tian asked him not to pretend, because he was a man, and his stubble was visible. Besides, he can't get more than 100 yuan for his cheap things, and asked if he would sell them to him for 500, or if he should call the police. After that, he agreed to sell the items even at a discount. Xiang Tian bought them and handed them to Lin Bingbing, and said that this way she could continue surveillance. Lin Bingbing said that it was too disgusting, and that she didn't want to wear it. Xiang Tian asked Lin Bingbing if she still wanted to be in the special operations team, because this was what she needed to do. Lin Bingbing was convinced by this. She took all these things and put them on herself, after which she said that she was ready. On the way further, Lin Bingbing said that she had made herself a laughingstock today, and if the mission failed, he would see what she would do to him. Approaching the karaoke bar, Xiang Tian suggested going there and said that he went there. Lin Bingbing asked if she was the only one who could see with night vision powder and how he knew where he went. Xiang Tian said that this was a professional instinct and he understood it when he saw where she was looking. Xiang Tian thought that he couldn't tell her that he could see without these glasses, and also he could still see through walls with his eyes. But through the glass in the door he could see much more than an ordinary person. Xiang Tian saw that the killer was really in this building, and what he saw was that some girl drew the killer's attention to the fact that he had dropped a photo and asked if it was his girlfriend. It was a photograph of Zheng Ru. The killer snatched the photo from her. Xiang Tian realized that she was the target for murder. The worker further said where the room for the two of them was. The man said that he would be there soon. Meanwhile, Xiang Tian said that he had found the killer. Lin Bingbing asked how he found it when the night vision powder became almost invisible when he came here. Xiang Tian said that he had just found it anyway. Next, Xiang Tian told Lin Bingbing that he would remain in place, and he invited her to go and report, because he should not leave for a while. Xiang Tian came to where the killer was, and told him that they had met again. The killer asked who let him in, and thought that it was the same man from the bar, from whom he had definitely broken away. He further told Xiang Tian that he didn't know what he was talking about, but he was willing to call the police if he didn't leave. Xiang Tian noticed the gun behind the assassin and activated the immortal steps of the wandering clouds. With this technique, he was able to defeat the assassin before he could even point the gun and fire. Xiang Tian thought that not long ago he had to hide from people from Quicksand, but now he can handle them effortlessly. Then he became interested in what was inside the crust that was handed to him. He opened it and found a very sharp dagger there, which he decided to take for himself. Next, he left the room and met Lin Bingbing, who said that Aunt Ye would arrive soon and that she asked them to leave as soon as possible so as not to scare him away. Xiang Tian agreed with her. Further, after leaving the bar, she told him that today she was really grateful to him and added that when she joined the Special Operations Department, she would definitely thank him properly. After that, she left him. Next, Xiang Tian called Zheng Ru and said that in their time they need to be on guard because he had just dealt with the killer who tried to kill her. Zheng Ru asked where he was and said that she would pick him up and they could talk. Xiang Tian agreed to talk to her about it later. After the call, he saw a street fight and thought that he did not want to get involved in street fights, but this was too much in his opinion. Then he approached them and said that it was a bit too much when several people beat one. One of them asked Xiang Tian who he was and asked him to mind his own business. At that moment, the guy began to bite the offender. The one who was bitten asked the guy to let him go. The other one kicked him and also asked him to let him go faster. Xiang Tian told the guy that he had a lot of energy and that he liked it because it was not bad and offered to help. Having defeated the offenders, Xiang Tian told them that next time they should not mock the weak while being strong. The guy thanked him for saving him, said that his name was Gao Fei, and asked to accept him as a student. Xiang Tian asked why those guys beat him. Gao Fei replied that they did not hit him, and that he hit them first because they stole his girlfriend. Xiang Tian asked if it was a theft or if she went with them voluntarily. Gao Fei replied that she left voluntarily. Xiang Tian said that in this case it is useless to beat them, and if he wants the girls not to leave him, then he must have the strength and capital so that they do not even think about it. Gao Fei said that if he accepts it, then at least for a start he will become stronger. Xiang Tian said that it was too dangerous to be with him and asked if he was afraid. Gao Fei commented that no, because he has no parents and has nothing to lose. Xiang Tian handed over a business card and said that he could call this number and ask to be accepted, saying that he was his student, and when meeting him he should be called Senior Shu. While he was walking further along the path, a car drove up to him. Zheng Ru was driving, and she invited him to sit down and asked how he was. Xiang Tian sat down and commented that he was fine, but she was in big trouble. Zheng Ru said that the old people are so full of crap that they want her dead. Xiang Tian said that they even hired a Quicksand killer and asked what she was going to do. He also asked if she could remain safe if she gave up her share in case she could not cope with them. Zheng Ru asked if he really thought that they would let her go if she gave up her shares, and said that they were generally afraid that she would be resurrected and live. Xiang Tian said that then they would have to find a way to get rid of these people. Zheng Ru said that she didn't want him to do anything illegal, and if he gave her 3 days, she could break the power of these old men. Xiang Tian asked how she was going to do this in 3 days. Zheng Ru replied that after what happened last time, she had already started taking action, and they should be completely destroyed financially so that they would no longer have free money to create problems. She further said that if we talk about business warfare, then she is an expert in it. After that, they arrived at the house, and Zheng Ru invited Xiang Tian to enter, saying that there was no one at home. Xiang Tian said that it is very big. Zheng Ru said that if he likes it, then this will be his home in the future. After these words, she handed over the keys to the villa and said to keep them for herself. Xiang Tian asked what was the point of giving the keys to him. Zheng Ru replied that if the bad guys came and he wanted to enter the room, it would be a problem if he didn't have the keys. Next, Zheng Ru's daughter ran up and started hugging Xiang Tian in joy. Next, Zheng Ru told maid Wang Ma that there was no more work to do today, so she could go home. Wang Ma agreed. After this, Zheng Ru told Xiang Tian that his room was ready and he should go to bed early. Xiang Tian advised Zheng Ru to also go to bed early. Tian Tian said that she wants to sleep with Xiang Tian. Zheng Ru told Tian Tian that Xiang Tian was tired, and therefore there was no need to disturb him. Xiang Tian also said that he was tired, and it was better not to come to him. Tian Tian threw a tantrum, and Zheng Ru said that she could not do anything about her, after which she allowed her to sleep with Xiang Tian if she wanted. Tian Tian invited her mother to also sleep with them. As a result, they all lay down in one bed together, and Xiang Tian wondered what he originally wanted to cultivate while sleeping, but he couldn't even fall asleep. As it turned out, it was not for nothing that he could not sleep, because guests came to them. Xiang Tian took the blade and went to check. Walking through the house, he realized that the sound was coming from Zheng Ru's room, and if she had not brought Tian Tian to his room and lay down next to him, then most likely she would have already been killed. Entering the room, Xiang Tian asked him to stop hiding and come out because he knows where he is. He went on to say that he was hiding behind a curtain, with a gun in his left hand and wearing brown socks. The killer said that he blamed himself for not hiding well and being discovered by him, but he was the one who was unlucky. Xiang Tian thought that with his eyesight it was useless to hide anywhere. The killer asked Xiang Tian what his name was. Xiang Tian said his name, and the killer, distraught, asked if he was Long's son. Xiang Tian asked if he knew his father. The killer commented that he read his profile in Quicksand. The killer also said that he was an obedient and good student who was no match for his father. After all, when Xiang Long was 20 years old, his reputation had already spread throughout China. Xiang Tian asked what else he knew about his father. Xiang Tian also said that if he tells him everything, he will not kill him. The assassin said that if he gave him his father's heavenly scroll, then he would think about it. Xiang Tian showed and said that the heavenly scroll was with him and he could continue. The killer said that since he was so serious, he would tell him that there were 4 great masters in China, namely Dong Wen, Shi Yin, Nansha, and Bei Jin. And Shi Yin was, after all, his father Xiang Long. Xiang Tian asked why he died then. The killer said that he did not know this, after which he offered to give him the heavenly scroll. After receiving the scroll, he said that since he had given him this treasure, he would be generous and release it today. Xiang Tian asked if he came for him today. The killer said that his mission today was to finish off Zheng Ru and he could let him go, but not her. Xiang Tian told him that he would give him a chance, and if he convinced him not to kill him in 3 sentences, then he would let him go. The killer asked if he could really kill him. Xiang Tian replied that the first sentence was not what he wanted to hear. Next, Xiang Tian asked to continue. The killer said that he could tell him more about his father. Xiang Tian said that this sentence is also wrong. The killer said that he would tell him something else, that there were 8 scrolls in total. Xiang Tian said that this was not one of the 3 sentences that he wanted to hear, because he did not have any, and thought that killing him here was not a good idea and that it was better to leave it to the police. After that, he simply snapped his neck. Xiang Tian further told the killer that he was stupid and that all he had to do was say that he would let Zheng Ru go, and he would forgive him. Next, Zheng Ru came over and asked if he was okay. Xiang Tian replied that he was fine and asked how he could protect her and Xiang Tian if he couldn't defeat one guy. After that, Zheng Ru threw herself into a hug and said that he scared her to death. Xiang Tian asked her not to be afraid and to dress up because they would have friends at home. Zheng Ru walked away a little and said that she would go and boil water to make tea for the guests. When she left, she asked if he would always protect her. Xiang Tian commented that he would and would not allow anything to happen to her or Qian Tian. He further thought that now it was time to call someone to come and clean this place. Xiang Tian greeted Master Shu and Gao Fei and said that they had come a long way. Zheng Ru invited them to come in and sit down. Master Shu told Xiang Tian that Gao Fei was indeed a good candidate for a martial artist. Xiang Tian then told Gao Fan that since Master Shu thought highly of him, he should try. Gao Fan spoke out what he knows, then he led them to the killer. On the spot, he said that this person is a killer from the Quicksand organization, so he asks him to take him to the police station and leave a note accordingly. Master Shu told Xiang Tian not to worry. Next, Master Shu turned to Xiang Tian and said that in a while there would be a competition at the Liulin Villa, and it would depend on whether he could take the advantage. Xiang Tian asked to entrust this to him. After that, Shu and Gao Fan left. Xiang Tian thought about what the killer said that there were 8 scrolls, and he wondered what would happen if you put them together. At this time, Zheng Ru came in. Xiang Tian asked if Tian Tian was scared. Zheng Ru replied that Tian Tian was fast asleep and had not even woken up during all this time. She went on to say that she was glad he was here today because he made her feel safe. Zheng Ru also said that it was very difficult for her to be alone for many years, and only now she feels that she has a home and someone she can rely on. Xiang Tian thanked her for such beautiful words, after which they kissed. After the night Xiang Tian slept with Zheng Ru, he thought that he had already broken through to the 2nd level of heavenly awakening and did not expect that he would have such an effect. They went together to the company's shareholders meeting. At the meeting, she was told that it was inappropriate to bring a boy with a white face. Zheng Ru said that if he is a boy with a snow-white face, then he will not even be able to reach his toes. He further said that they are holding an internal company meeting, and I asked about who would be responsible if something happened when an outsider entered. Zheng Ru replied that he was her person and asked the same thing. He also said that she was so shameless that she could say such things so easily, and others supported him. Zheng Ru asked who was shameless and also asked if the car accident, kidnapping, and attempted murder were orchestrated by him. He told her not to talk nonsense and asked if she had evidence. Zheng Ru asked how dare they deny their actions and whether they were even men. After that, she threw a lot of papers and asked to look at it. She went on to say that this was the evidence they wanted. After that, they began to ask why she was slandering them and saying that it was a lie and falsification. They further said that they want to remove her from her position because in their opinion she is no longer suitable for the role of CEO of the Zen Group company and added that she should sell them her shares at a low price. Zheng Ru said that in the end, their ultimate goal was revealed and it was to remove her, and if so, then she would ask the opinions of the other shareholders and use the evidence to put them in prison and then divide the shares. Xiang Tian thought that she was very smart and that this decision was beneficial for everyone. One of the men said that this was the work of a boy and that he was the one trying to slander them in order to spite the Zheng family. Zheng Ru said that it was none of his business. Xiang Tian approached the most important of the men and asked if it was true that if they got rid of these 5 old men, then there would be no more problems. Zheng Ru asked him not to be impulsive, because in 2 days they would be finished. Xiang Tian told Zheng Ru that she could wait, but the Quicksand killers would not wait. The man asked Xiang Tian what he was going to do. Xiang Tian hit him. The man asked if he understood correctly that he had hit him. Xiang Tian asked the man if he wanted him to hit him, because he had never heard such a strange request. and so he was curious. At that moment, someone who looked like an employee came in. He said Manager Wong asked him to bring her materials. Zheng Ru said that he could bring them now. Xiang Tian asked him to stay and asked if all the company's employees wore leather military boots to work. This man at this moment quickly took out his dagger and rushed to kill Zheng Ru. Xiang Tian knocked the dagger out of his hands and stopped him, and then went to Zheng Ru. That person said that he was no faster than a bullet anyway, but Xiang Tian showed him them too. Next, he overpowered this man and asked if he needed to pronounce the name of the one who hired this killer. Without waiting for an answer, he also said that he would give them one last chance to save their lives if they gave up their shares and surrendered. The men agreed with him. At that moment, a man in a police uniform came in and asked who called the police. One of the men said that he caused it because the man he pointed at had a gun. Next, a man in a police uniform asked who was responsible for this. Zheng Ru replied that she was responsible. A man in a police uniform offered to go with him because he needed to take a statement from her. Xiang Tian asked what about the killer, or does he not care? The man in the police uniform commented that he had called his colleagues and reinforcements would arrive soon, so everyone should stay put and wait for the investigation. Xiang Tian thought the procedure was strange, but followed the instructions. Zheng Ru asked the policeman why they were going through the back door of the office. The man in the police uniform replied that it was because his car was parked there. Meanwhile, Xiang Tian began tying everyone up with rope and waiting for police reinforcements. At that moment, the police came in and told no one to move. Seeing Lin Bingbing, Xiang Tian asked what she was doing in this place. Lin Bingbing said that as a police officer, she had to respond to the call. Xiang Tian asked if she was the reinforcement her colleague was talking about. Lin Bingbing said that they were the first to respond to the call. Meanwhile, the man in the police uniform told Zheng Ru to get into the car. Zheng Ru asked why she should ride in a car for criminals if she was going to cooperate with the investigation. The man was persistent. Xiang Tian told Lin Bingbing that the previous policeman was not real, and then ran outside. Seeing Zheng Ru near the car, he shouted to her that it was an ambush and quickly pulled her away from the bullet. Lin Bingbing said that there is a sniper somewhere, so we need to take cover. Xiang Tian said that the trace of the trajectory had disappeared, which means the sniper had left. Lin Bingbing asked what he was talking about. Xiang Tian replied that it was no longer important. Xiang Tian thought that since the actions of the Quicksand did not stop, and now they sent 2 assassins, it means that the danger for Zheng Ru has not yet passed. Then, while playing basketball, Xiang Tian thought that he would have to look after Zheng Ru until he dealt with the killers, and at some point he saw the killer watching him and ran to catch him, already running away. At some point he caught up with him. This person is Osil asked whether he really dared to follow him without fear of an ambush. Xiang Tian also asked if the Quicksand organization was a charity and why he was still pursuing Zheng Ru. The man replied that he was his target. After all, he is the son of the person who stood in their way, and that he must die, after which he began to rush at Xiang Tian. Seeing the green cloud dagger, the servant asked Xiang Tian where he got it from. Xiang Tian commented that he should guess what happened to the last guy who had it, and that it was indeed the same as his. The minister said that he was just as much a problem as his father, and that they both deserved to die. Xiang Tian asked him if he had anything to do with his father's death. The attendant told Xiang Tian that he hid himself very well, and he thought that he was an ordinary guy, but he did not expect that he had reached the early stage strength of the Huang level. Xiang Tian thought that it turns out that martial arts are classified by levels. The minister also said that over time he would become a problem, and therefore he should end him today. Xiang Tian wondered what the servant launched and why all this was flying at him. Then he realized that this was the power of a level 2 killer. The attendant said that he should only be at the early stage of Huang's level, and asked how he was able to avoid his attacks. Xiang Tian told the servant that if he told him how his father died, he could live. The attendant said that this was not the early stage of the Huang level, but the late stage, and asked how he achieved it. Xiang Tian killed him after that and said that in fact, none of them told him about his father. That's why they die. Next, he came to Master Jian Yuanhong and asked if he was leaving. The master told him that today was his last day of practice with him, and tomorrow he would leave Zhanghai City, and he should be careful of the Quicksand. Xiang Tian said that he would like to thank the master for his teachings these days, and that he would take into account his instructions. He further thought that he did not know when he would see him again, but he hoped that day would come soon. Next, he was picked up by his aunt in a car with Ting Shui, who asked him who he was chasing last time. Xiang Tian replied that he was mistaken. He also said that he thought it was an old friend, but then found out that it was not so. At that moment, Chili called him and said that she wanted to learn martial arts from him, but her family did not allow her, and she ran away from home after deciding to run away. Xiang Tian asked what she was talking about and ended the call. Aunt asked him who called him. Xiang Tian replied that it was just a stalker. The aunt said that she thinks it was the girl he seduced again, because every time she sees him with a new girl. The aunt also asked Xiang Tian if he didn't respect her Qingshui. Qingshui told Wen that Xiang Tian was just her cousin, and he was pretending to be her boyfriend and therefore asked her not to misunderstand him. Xiang Tian told Wen that sometimes he felt like she was as annoying as that stalker. Qingshui advised Wen to look forward, but Aunt Wen asked Xiang Tian to repeat it. Chili was wondering in the meantime how Xiang Tian dared to hang up and what she should do anyway, because she had a quarrel with her family, and she doesn't have money with her, and besides, Xiang Tian doesn't want to see her. Then she wondered why not make money. Seeing the car, she decided that she had found the one she needed, and threw herself under the car. Wen got out of the car and asked Chili if she was okay. Qingshui also came out and asked what happened. Xiang Tian walked over and said that it looked like she was fine. At that moment, her mother came up and asked her how she dared to deceive people and said that she was very naughty. And Wen left, leaving Qingshui and Xiang Tian. Xiang Tian said that it was all over and Huo had left to do housework, so he suggested going out to dinner. Qingshui said that it was Wen who suggested dinner and said that two girls wanted to meet him after watching his match. Xiang Tian asked who they were, but these girls had already caught up with them and Qingshui didn't have to explain. One of them told Xiang Tian that they saw him get out of the car and decided to approach him. She also said that he is a basketball god and she is a fan. Xiang Tian wondered if he already had fans. The white-haired girl asked what happened to Miss Huo. Qingshui said that Wen had just left unharmed. The pink-haired girl asked Xiang Tian if he could guess what kind of underwear she was wearing, because she heard that he could. Xiang Tian said that she asked for it herself, and wondered that he couldn't see through their clothes. Xiang Tian also wondered if this was a disguise and asked if she was disguised. Qingshui told Xiang Tian that it was not polite to tell a girl that she had plastic surgery. Xiang Tian said that these are camouflage clothes. Linger said that this was true, and she had to wear camouflage clothes because she was ugly and did not have a good figure. Next, she asked Xiang Tian if he would like to be her boyfriend, since he is her idol. Xiang Tian asked why he should be her boyfriend considering that she is ugly. He also thought that everything was not as simple as she said. Xiang Tian further said that she should be at least at the level of his cousin Qingshui. Linger asked who said that she had a bad body, and why don't she take off her clothes and show him. Xiang Tian agreed for her to take off her clothes. Linger said that there were too many people here, and she would take it somewhere else. Qingshui took Xiang Tian's hand and pulled him away from them. Later, when she was too far away from them, Qingshui said that this girl had gone too far. Xiang Tian asked her not to take it into her head. Next, Xiang Tian suggested eating together, since a table was free. Qingshui agreed to his proposal. Next, Wan Nianling approached Qingshui and said that he had been waiting for her for a long time and that she had finally returned. Qingshui asked why he was pursuing her again, because she said that she had a boyfriend. Wan Nianling said that he still has a chance even though she has a boyfriend since she is not married yet, and asked if this is true. Next, Wan Nianling said that he bought a BMW for her, which is located not far from them, and offered to take the keys. Qingshui said that she didn't want it. Wan Nianling said that he would never take back what he gave. Qingshui repeated that she did not want this. At this moment, Xiang Tian took the keys and said what he wanted. Wan Nianling asked if he really wanted this car. Xiang Tian confirmed. Wan Nianling said that in this case, he should leave Qingshui. Xiang Tian asked if the car was for him. Wan Nianling commented that she was his. Xiang Tian walked up to the old man and said that the red BMW was all his. Qingshui asked what he was doing because you shouldn't laugh at people with disabilities. Xiang Tian asked Qingshui if this old man was like that. After which he told the old man that if he didn't want to, he would give the keys to someone else. The old man stood up and said that he wanted this car, and that there was no need to give it to others. The moment the old man got into the car, Wan Nianling asked him to wait, stop and get out, because it was his car. But the old man started driving and drove into the building. After that, Wan Nianling said that since he was not the driver, after the car crashed into the wall, his insurance would not be paid. He was very sorry about what happened, and at that moment, Xiang Tian and Qingshui calmly left. One of the following days on the way to school, Xiang Tian was met by his ex-girlfriend and asked if he wanted to get in the car to get there faster. The driver said that he shouldn't be allowed to sit down, because he smelled like manure. The girl asked the driver if he really didn't want to sacrifice his car. He answered her that he would do anything for her. Xiang Tian told them to drive carefully because he saw an accident yesterday and the same thing could happen to them. Then they still crashed into a garbage truck, and Qingshui told Xiang Tian that she doesn't know why she liked him before, because now she definitely doesn't like him. While already in the classroom, Xiang Tian asked if the garbage had been removed. The girl replied that he would never find a girlfriend, and that she was glad that she broke up with him, because he was not good enough for her. Xiang Tian said that since he doesn't deserve it, then she does, because fish are looking for fish, shrimp are looking for shrimp, and toads are looking for frogs. The girl asked who he called a toad, because he is a beggar and no one will approach him. Next, a girl came into the class and asked if there was a student named Xiang Tian in this class. Xiang Tian stood up and walked towards her. Her classmates started saying that she was beautiful, and that Xiang Tian seemed to know her, but none of them knew her. Xiang Tian asked this girl who she was and who gave her the horse. The girl replied that he knew who it was and offered to go with her, because she was waiting for him. Someone said that no one knows what a toad is until it is compared to a swan. The girl took him to Xiaoma's brother. Xiaoma said that 10 years have passed and he is becoming more and more like their father. Xiang Tian said that he couldn't believe it was really him because he missed him. Xiaoma said that of course it was him, because he gave him this horse when he left. Next, Xiaoma introduced his daughter-in-law Hua Yi to him. Xiang Tian greeted her after that. She also greeted him. Xiaoma also said that he was little then and always ran after him. Xiang Tian said of course, because he is 7 years older than him. Xiaoma asked how the godfather was and how his health was. Xiang Tian said that his father had died. Further, being already at home, Xiaoma said that if it were not for his godfather, who saved him, he would have died. He wanted to repay him in the future, but he made him forget his way home forever and told him not to come back. Xiang Tian said that his father had always been like this, so he never had friends to visit him. Xiaoma said that since he has no one else at home, he offers to move in with him. Xiang Tian said that he had nothing to worry about because he now had a place to live. At this moment, Xiaoma called Xiantu and asked him to come urgently, to which Xiaoma agreed. Next, Xiaoma told Xiang Tian that Xiang Tian's father was suffering from gout and couldn't go out now, so he had to run errands for him and asked Xiang Tian if he wanted to go with him, because he had something to tell him. Xiang Tian agreed, and they went. On the way, Xiang Tian asked who Xiantu was and why he should carry out his orders. Xiaoma commented that he deals with construction materials, and he is considered his patron because of his connections at the top. Xiaoma said that Xiantu is good and he is not the kind of person that money can buy, so he will help him in everything. Entering his room, Xiang Tian ran to Xiantu, grabbed him and lifted him up. Xiaoma asked what he was doing. Other people around him asked him to stop immediately. They even considered him crazy and even tried to capture him. Next, Xiang Tian put Xiantu back after he vomited. Xiantu said that he felt much better now and thanked Xiang Tian for saving his life. Xiang Tian asked Xiantu what he was eating just now. Xiantu said that it was hot snow toad soup from his old friend. Xiang Tian asked if he could take a look at it. After that, they brought him what Xiantu drank. Next, Xiang Tian asked Xiantu how much he hated this man. Xiantu said that not at all, because he had known him for a long time and his son brought soup. Xiang Tian said that the snow toad is naturally cold, and these herbs can remove the cold poison of the snow toad. He also said that even a healthy person after taking it will live no more than 3 months. Hearing this, Xiantu asked to save his life. Xiang Tian said that he had nothing to worry about because he would not be left behind, but he just needed a set of silver needles. Next, Guo asked Xiang Tian if he had a medical license and a license to practice medicine, because without them, he could not do this. Xiang Tian said that he does not have licenses, but has a desire to save people. Xiantu told Xiang Tian that he believed him and was ready to start treatment right now. He also said that he didn't think he would have lasted much longer at Dr. Guo's hospital. Xiang Tian was surprised to realize that this was a private hospital. Dr. Guo, thinking that an unlicensed doctor was going to kill a man, decided to call the police. Xiantu ordered him to forget about him, and he asked his servant to bring a set of needles that he had. Xiaoma asked Xiang Tian if he really knows how to heal people. Xiang Tian responded positively and said that he had learned a little from his father. Xiaoma asked Xiantu why not call someone else. Xiantu said that he is the boss in the house and he decides what to do. Then, after the needles were brought, Xiantu suggested using them. Xiang Tian asked if these were divine bean needles. Xiantu commented that he has good eyesight, but these are not real needles, because they were only created by later generations according to the records of ancient masters. Xiangtian said that they are a great treasure and will cure in a month. Xiantu said that he believed him and asked him to proceed. After installing the needles and seeing the results, Xiangtian said that it was even better than expected, and it would only take him 10 minutes. At that moment, the police arrived at the house and asked the people in the room to immediately release the hostages and surrender. One of them asked the second team if they could find the hostage takers. The second team responded that they could only confirm that there was something in the house, but they could not pinpoint the location. The policeman asked Dr. Guo if he was sure that the kidnappers and hostages were in the house. Guo replied that they should be. After this, the police burst into the house and asked no one to move and to raise their hands. But when they saw something that was not what they expected, the police said that they received a call and were told that someone had captured the director's father. Xiantu said that they were mistaken and that all this time he had been sitting here talking to his client, so there was no kidnapping or capture. Dr. Guo further told the policeman that this person, pointing to Xiangtian, does not have a license, and he is treating Mr. Xiang, which is illegal. Xiantu said that as he said, he accepts his client, and that this doctor had just been fired by him and probably in retaliation, he called the police with a false report. The police then grabbed the doctor and took him with them. Xiangtian thanked Xiantu. Xiantu said that he should be the one thanking him. After that, he said that the needles were of little use to him, so he was ready to give them to him. Xiangtian said that it was too valuable. Xiantu told Xiangtian that this treasure was only useful in his hands. Realizing that Xiantu gave him the needles after all, Xiangtian thanked him for such a gift and left. One of the following days, Xiangtian met with Lin Bingbing at her request and greeted her as a police officer. Lin Bingbing asked not to call her that. Next, Xiangtian asked why she wanted to meet him. Lin Bingbing said that there was no need to say that, and of course she was in this place to ask him for help and began to lead him somewhere. Xiangtian asked where they were going. Lin Bingbing replied that she thought that his aunt asked him to cooperate with her, so he should go with her. She further said that she had been given the task of tracking down a man named Wong and finding out who was behind him. She then suggested going to the casino and finding out what was going on there. Xiangtian asked if he was going to go to the casino dressed like that. Lin Bingbing asked what was wrong with her clothes. Xiangtian took her hand and pulled her somewhere. They went to where he chose clothes for her, which she put on, and after leaving that place, Lin Bingbing asked if she really had to dress like that. Xiangtian said that the more she pulled off her t-shirt, the more it seemed like she wasn't wearing shorts. On the way to the casino, they met some company, and the man asked who it was. Xiangtian said that he was a friend of Old Man Shu. The man asked why he needed the girl next to him. Xiangtian replied that she was his wife. After kissing Lin Bingbing, Xiangtian asked if they were convinced of this. The man said that they would stop bragging and they could quickly go inside. Xiangtian thanked them for letting them through. While inside, Xiangtian told her not to be so serious and to relax. Then he sat her down and said that she should take part in the game so as not to stand out too much. Then, when betting, he asked her whether it was more or less. Lin Bingbing asked what he meant, a rogue or something else. At this moment, a man came over and told Lin Bingbing that Xiangtian was asking whether she was betting over or under. Xiangtian said that his wife bets less. The man said that we went, and the result was 124, which means that it is less. Lin Bingbing asked if this was a victory. Xiangtian told her that she should just take them and play with them first, and he would go look elsewhere. Lin Bingbing bet further on more, and Xiangtian thought walking through the casino hall that if he wants to find information, then it is best to find some unlucky person, and at some point he found him. Xiangtian approached him and asked if he needed money. He replied that he could not afford to take out a loan. Xiangtian replied that this was not a loan, and if he provided him with the necessary information, he would give him the money for free. The man asked what information he needed. Xiangtian commented, and after they agreed, he walked up to Lin Bingbing and asked how her game went. She didn't answer him right away, but it was clear that she was upset. Then they left the casino, and Lin Bingbing told Xiangtian that she lost all the money he gave her. Xiangtian responded that it was good work and that he had made progress on his part. She clarified whether this was true. Xiangtian asked her to kiss him, and then he would tell her everything. Lin Bingbing was about to hit him. Seeing this, Xiangtian said that he was just joking. He further said that the guy she is looking for, Wong, goes to this KTV fire day every Sunday and he will go with him when the time comes. Xiangtian thanked Xiangtian for his help and said that kissing was a problem for her. Then his cousin called him and he accepted the call. At this moment, Lin Bingbing stabbed him in the back and left. Xiang Tian wondered at this moment what was wrong with her. Then one of the following days, during the start of the university entrance exams near Jianghai High School, Xiang Tian thought that he wanted to go and sit somewhere where he could drink, and he ended up going to such a place. He ordered himself a drink, and a girl sat down next to him, called him handsome, and asked how about treating her to a drink. Without waiting for an answer, after a while she took his glass and drank from it. Xiang Tian asked the girl what was wrong with her. The girl replied that it was just a drink, and asked not to be so stingy. Then 3 men approached her, and one of them recognized her and told her brother that it was her. His brother asked the girl to return his wallet, and then they would forget about it. The girl said she had no idea what wallet he was talking about. The man asked not to force them to use force on her. The girl asked what he wanted, and said that her boyfriend was here, and he was very strong. After that, Xiang Tian took out a wallet and handed it to them, asking if this was what they were looking for. The girl thought that she wanted to hide it for a while. The man demanded to know if he was playing with him. The brother said that they really did it. Xiang Tian said that he does not play with men. The 3 brothers did not take the wallet and decided to attack him and beat him. The girl asked what happened. Not far from them was another couple. The guy there demanded to know if Miss Hong had seen it. Miss Hong told him not to take it into his head. Xiang Tian told the thief girl that she drank his glass of wine, so let her remember to pay the bill. After leaving the bar, the girl asked where he lived, and if he wanted her to take him home in a taxi, he refused. The girl asked if it was true and thought that she had his wallet, and he would cry when he got out of the taxi and did not have money to pay for the trip. But at that moment, Xiang Tian told her not to look, because he returned it. Seeing this, the girl said that he was a professional. Xiang Tian got into the taxi and received a call from Master Shu. He demanded to know how the exams went. Xiang Tian commented that there is no need to worry, because there are no problems. Xiang Tian also said that the tournament is in 3 days, so he can't miss it. He further thought that now he is not as weak as before, and this is more than enough to cope with San. After 3 days arriving at the Lulin Villa in the Green Forest, Xiang Tian realized what this meant and remembered that Master Fan had invited him. Master Shu was invited to the entrance, and Master Shu thanked him for the invitation. Fan asked Xiang Tian if he was sure about today's meeting. Xiang Tian replied that if he were not sure, he would not have come. Fan said that he was really a hero with a child's body, and also said that the rules need to be discussed first. He further said that if they win, then he wants Shu Dechuan to give him his pair of eyes, and Xiang Tian should be left without a leg. Xiang Tian asked what would happen if he won. Fan said that if he wins, they will forget the past, and Shu Dechuan will no longer have anything to do with him, and he will not harm him. Fan's son said that they couldn't let him go, and he had to die. Fang said that Xiang Tian did not have the ability to kill anyone in Lulin Villa. Xiao Fei told Fan that Xiang Tian still doesn't know anything about the world, and shouldn't take it to heart. Xiang Tian said that it doesn't matter, and if Fan needs his life, then he can have his own. Xiao Fei asked how he could bet his life against his. Sun said he would stand up to him. Xiao Fei asked Xiang Tian if he was from Quicksand. Xiang Tian said negatively. Fan said that if so, then this fight can take place, regardless of the stakes, and this decision will be guarded by him, and the fight began. Some time of battle later, Sam asked Xiang Tian if he was at the early stage of the yellow level. After that, he said that he would not hesitate any longer and would make sure that he had what he needed. Next, San thought that he had underestimated Xiang Tian, and that he was more difficult than he thought because he was growing rapidly, and at that moment he decided that he would have to do it quickly. Xiang Tian thought that since San was so ruthless, he would not leave himself the slightest chance of making a mistake. After that, using all the techniques he knew to the maximum, he defeated San. After the victory, Xiang Tian told San that he had lost both legs, but he would not kill him because he had many enemies and had to pay his bills. Fan asked Xiang Tian who he learned Tai Chi from. Xiang Tian said that he learned this by accident one day in the park. Mr. Fan showed it to him and told him to come to his Lulin Villa one day. Fan said that now it is clear why all these movements are so familiar to him. Shu Dechuan asked Xiang Tian how about they find a place to celebrate. Xiang Tian said that he couldn't celebrate now because he was busy today and suggested doing it another time. When he arrived at the meeting, he noticed Lin Bingbing, who said that she thought he would not come. Xiang Tian said that she was late, and she was talking about him like that. He further asked why she dressed up like that because that's not her style. Lin Bingbing said that she didn't want him to dress her up specially, so she chose her own clothes. He further noticed and demanded to know if she was used to high heels and offered to help her with this. Then a girl approached them and said that they had met again. Lin Bingbing asked who she was. Xiang Tian said that she was a thief, and Lin Bingbing ran after her, trying to detain her. The girl asked what was happening. Further, Xiang Tian thought that he probably shouldn't have said this, because it was as if he had triggered the instinct of catching in a mousetrap. After that, he entered the building where Lin Bingbing caught up with the thief. Approaching Lin Bingbing, he told her not to detain her, because he said that she was a thief, but he did not say that she was stealing now. Lin Bingbing asked if she was an active criminal. Xiang Tian exclaimed that she should give those who have already committed crimes a chance to atone. The thief said that this was right, and she chased her when she was not stealing anything. Her friend suggested we sit down and have a drink. Lin Bingbing said that she couldn't drink because she was still on a mission. Xiang Tian demanded an answer from Lin Bingbing whether her legs hurt from running for a long time when she was not used to heels, after which he sat her down on a chair. In the end, it all worked out that all four of them sat down at one table and started drinking something. The red-haired girl told Xiang Tian that the other girl was jealous of him. Xiang Tian demanded to know who was jealous of him. He further said that if she meant Lin Bingbing, then it couldn't be because she didn't have room in her head for such things. The girl replied that he was stupid, and that's how jealous girls behave, and suggested that he wait and make sure of this. Next, Lin Bingbing grabbed Xiang Tian's hand and dragged him away, saying that they had work to do. Xiang Tian asked Lin Bingbing if she could control herself, and if she really got drunk so quickly. The thief said after they left that it was a pity that he had a girlfriend. The other girl told her in response not to steal anything from her bar. Lin Bingbing took the microphone and started singing that she loved him. She went on to say that for the first time in her life, she allowed herself to let go of all inhibitions and asked permission to dream about him and about herself. Xiang Tian said that it was a real loss for her not to debut as an idol. Lin Bingbing said that her singing was just a cover, and she told him to keep an eye on the target, and then asked if he did it. Xiang Tian replied that he was watching and asked not to be so loud, otherwise they would hear her. Lin Bingbing said that she rented a room with a better view and asked Xiang Tian to be more serious. Xiang Tian asked Lin Bingbing to turn off the microphone. Next, he thought that in reality, the target was already here, and now he would not mind interrupting them, but it was not good to defame the eyes of this lady police officer. At some point, he noticed something. After that, Xiang Tian told Lin Bingbing that it was time for them to leave. Lin Bingbing asked what happened because the song had not ended yet. Xiang Tian said that the target had just entered the meeting, and they went to observe the meeting. Watching, Lin Bingbing said that she couldn't believe that he didn't tell her that Huo Yazi was already here. Xiang Tian asked if it would be better to do this now, or if he has something more serious to do. In that case, Lin Bingbing suggested going there and listening to what they had to say. Xiang Tian said that there was no need to go there because he could understand what they were talking about from here. Lin Bingbing asked if he could read lips. After that, Xiang Tian said that the other guy is a foreigner, and the relic will arrive in Zhanghai City in 3 days. They haven't said what it is, but they're going to do something about it. Lin Bingbing said that theft is a big deal. Lin Bingbing asked if this was true and whether he would deceive her, because such things cannot be joked about. Xiang Tian said that he would not joke with something like that. Lin Bingbing said that she believed him and would buy him a drink anyway. Xiang Tian said that he could not accept the treat today since his cousin had just written to him to go home. Lin Bingbing asked if he lived with his cousin. Xiang Tian exclaimed something like that. Lin Bingbing asked if he had permission and how they could live together since he was not yet old enough to get married. Xiang Tian said that he did not need permission, because she was his cousin and also lived with her friend. She further asked how 2 girls can live with 1 guy. Xiang Tian said that the more she talks, the more outrageous it becomes, and demanded to know if she had watched enough science fiction films before, and left without an answer. Meanwhile, the cousin and her best friend were looking at something, and the cousin asked her friend if they were really going to do this. The friend told her that they had promised to celebrate, so it could be considered a surprise for him. Next, Xiang Tian came home and said that he had returned. His cousin and his friend congratulated him on being the best student in the university entrance exam and asked him what happened and whether he was surprised. A friend asked what happened to him. Cousin said it was too bad because it seemed like it was too exciting for him. Meanwhile, Xiang Tian was thinking about how not to open his vision and asked them not to come closer to him. The next day, Xiang Tian thought that those 2 girls almost killed him last night while celebrating his record exam scores, but it was a good celebration. Next, he begged himself not to think about it because he had come to Zheng Ru. Entering Zheng Ru's office, Xiang Tian greeted her. Zheng Ru also greeted him and asked him to do her a favor since he had arrived just in time. Xiang Tian asked who sent the flowers he saw. Then he read that they were from Hua and said that this was trivial. Zheng Ru asked him to go to the corner with the flowers and throw them in the trash, which he did at her request. Next, Xiang Tian asked what happened. Zheng Ru replied that Wen Zhaohua, one of the 4 young masters of Jianghai, was constantly harassing her and annoying her. Xiang Tian said that he always heard about the 4 young gentlemen from Jianghai. Zheng Ru further added that Jiang Tianshu, Hu Fanye, Wen Zhaohua, and Wan Yanling are, frankly speaking, 4 rich and influential playboys in their families, and Wen Zhaohua is the second son of the powerful Wen family. Xiang Tian said that he knew Wan Yanling since he had been pursuing his cousin. Zheng Ru said that he had better not provoke him, because he is known as the #1 genius doctor in Jianghai City. Zheng Ru also said that his network covers the entire Jianghai City and no one dares to provoke him. Xiang Tian said that he had already done it. Zheng Ru said that in that case, he might forget what she said. At that moment, the pursuer knocked and Xiang Tian asked what he should do and whether she wanted to let him in. Zheng Ru asked what she should do if she doesn't want to let him in, because of him, everyone is very scared and even the guards are afraid of him. Xiang Tian exclaimed that if she didn't want to do something, then she should let him take care of it for her. Zheng Ru asked what he was going to do. Xiang Tian went and opened the door without answering. Wen Zhaohua was afraid. Xiang Tian also pretended to be scared and asked what kind of creature he was. Wen Zhaohua asked what he was talking about and who he was calling a creature. Xiang Tian asked him if he was not a creature. He asked not to joke with him like that. Next, Wen Zhaohua saw and addressed Zheng Ru as Xiao Ruru and asked why she was not answering her calls. Zheng Ru said that she seemed to be asking him not to call her that. Wen Zhaohua asked her not to be angry because he bought her flowers. Xiang Tian asked if he was deaf because she asked not to call her that. Wen Zhaohua asked who he was and said that it was none of his business and therefore he should get lost. Zheng Ru said that he is now the special director of Zheng Group and this is his business. Xiang Tian told Wen Zhaohua that he heard her and he should leave accordingly, because if it weren't for Zheng Ru, he would have kicked him out. Wen Zhaohua laughed and asked him to try to kick him out. Xiang Tian hit him hard and asked if he really wanted him to kick him out, because he had never heard such a ridiculous request. Wen Zhaohua guessed what he was doing and then asked to be released. Next, Xiang Tian took Wen Zhaohua and threw it into the non-recyclable garbage bin, after which he said that the garbage should be sorted properly and left. Wen Zhaohua said that he and Zheng Ru would pay for this. Next, Xiang Tian went to Zheng Ru's office. Zheng Ru asked Xiang Tian what he did to Wen Zhaohua. Xiang Tian said that at her recent request, he went to the basket and threw it there and told her not to worry about him. Xiang Tian further said that he should introduce her to his brother. Zheng Ru asked if he really had a brother. Xiang Tian said that he is not his own, but he treats him like one, so he decided to introduce her to him. Zheng Ru said that she would also like to meet his family. Xiang Tian pondered that although he knows that he has no future with her, he has already begun to consider her his family. Next, Wen Zhaohua called Biao and asked him to help him with something. He further speculated whether Zheng Group had come out with new lotus water and asked to go and help him make some noise. After the call, he thought about not letting Zheng Ru blame him for this. Meanwhile, Zheng Ru and Xiang Tian were shopping. Zheng Ru took Xiang Tian out and bought him clothes. Xiang Tian at one point said that he could not wear so many clothes and that what they had already bought was already enough for him. Zheng Ru said that before going to his brother she should dress him up properly. After all, she doesn't want him to look too shabby. She also said that they were just passing near the lotus water point and suggested we go there. Entering the outlet, Zheng Ru said that it looked like there were a lot of customers. Xiang Tian said that they are not clients. As they got a little closer, they heard requests for compensation and medical expenses. Then someone called Zheng Ru and said that someone was broadcasting live from their point of view, saying that there were problems with the quality of their products and that many victims were having problems. Zheng Ru asked how this could happen, since she also uses lotus water and does not experience any adverse reactions. Xiang Tian put the shopping down and told her to call the police and she would take care of the rest. Zheng Ru asked if there was a quality problem. Wouldn't it spread if you called the police? Xiang Tian exclaimed not to worry, because he knows what is happening now. Xiang Tian approached the protesters and asked them not to make a scene and tell him what was happening. One girl asked who he was. Another girl asked why he cared so much. Xiang Tian said that lotus water helps. The girl asked to look at her face and said that this happened to her right after she used this product and asked how it could be fixed. At this moment, Xiang Tian snatched the phone from her hands. The girl asked what he was doing, what kind of thief he was, and said that taking someone's phone and looking through his photo album was illegal. Xiang Tian said that the water is a new product, and the photo album shows that her acne has been around for 6 months. Next, he asked another girl whether the scar on her face was real, and also suggested whether she would tear it off herself or wait until he did it himself. The man with the camera said he was a reporter for the morning newspaper and suggested he thought it was appropriate to put pressure on the victim. Xiang Tian replied that this should be called more of an exposure of a fraudster. Xiang Tian also speculated whether he was actually a reporter for the morning newspaper, and if so, whether he had a press card. The reporter could not answer this. Xiang Tian asked if he forgot his press card. Next, Xiang Tian, without waiting for a response from the reporter, turned to everyone present and said that as far as he knew, only one real reporter should be present at the event and ask the others if they were trainees. Those present began to say that he was an empty talker and that she would sue him for libel. Xiang Tian said that they had nothing to worry about because they could tell the police all this in detail right here. Police said they received a call about an active scam ring, so they asked everyone to cooperate with the investigation. Xiang Tian told them not to think that only they can post the video on the internet because there are many witnesses besides them, and suggested that they now see if the lotus water is really a fake or if they are all scammers. After the whole situation was resolved, the police officer thanked Xiang Tian for his help and said that these people are professional scammers who engage in all types of extortion. The policeman also added that, as a rule, companies do not want to get into trouble and pay, so very few people like him are brave enough to report it on the spot. Xiang Tian said that he is not afraid of these bad people, because their brand is on the right track. Zheng Ru mentally thanked Xiang Tian for his trust, not expecting that he believed in the brand more than she did. After all this, Xiang Tian went to the bar where Hong and the thief were. They greeted each other when they met. The thief asked if everything was fine with him lately. Hong asked why he was avoiding her. Xiang Tian replied that her abilities are highly developed and he should be on guard. The girl said that the two of them always quarrel when they see each other. Dao Xin asked Hong that someone would come to disturb her later and if she would be okay with the duel. Hong replied that as long as they didn't damage anything here, it didn't matter. Xiang Tian said that he would stay away. Dao Xin said that it was her brother and sister who would come here and they wanted to steal something from her. Next, brother and sister Dao Xin came and asked her if everything was ready. Dao Xin replied that of course everything was ready and offered to take a look. At this moment, Xiang Tian activated his X-ray vision and saw something interesting. At first he thought that it was a glass pearl, later he realized that it was a diamond, but he did not understand how this diamond was polished to a shine with real blood inside, which is still flowing. In his opinion, this is a real treasure. Dao Xin said that they could steal this thing from her. Xiang Tian told her that she was cheating, because the bead was not even in her pocket. Dao Xin replied that if she didn't have these skills, she wouldn't have become a star thief. At this moment, the sister came up and hugged Dao Xin, and the brother grabbed the bead, which at that moment fell out of Dao Xin's hand. Dao Xin asked what kind of trick it was that made her lose the feeling in her left hand. The sister replied that if she did not have this skill, she would not be her sister. The brother said that they agreed that if she loses, then this thing will be theirs, and so he leaves. Dao Xin said that the two of them attacked her alone, and therefore it does not count. Next, the brother discovered that the bead, which he thought he was holding in his hands, had disappeared at some point, and he guessed where it was now. Dao Xin asked if it was possible that she fell to the floor. The brother exclaimed that he did not know. My sister suggested we go and look. The brother suggested whether she was playing a prank on them. Dao Xin asked why he said that when he himself dropped her, and besides, her hands are still numb and she cannot move them. My sister said that she shouldn't say that, because after all, she is very talented. The brother suggested that they forget about it and just say that they failed this time and come back for it next time. Dao Lin asked not to leave and what he wanted her to tell the master. The brother suggested saying directly that she had lost the bead. My sister said that's exactly it. Dao Lin asked how this could be. Xiang Tian asked to forgive him for borrowing the drink and went and poured it on her brother. The brother asked why they were so unlucky, and he and his sister began to leave. They approached the steps behind the door, and Xiang Tian ordered brother Dao Xin to fall. After that, the brother actually fell down the steps. The sister asked if he was okay. The brother replied that something happened to his legs. They suddenly became weak. After that, he said that he would stop talking because he needed to go to the hospital as soon as possible. Dao Xin said that he deserved it. Dao Xin asked after they left what to do with the master's bead because most likely they took it after all. Xiang Tian suggested looking again because it was quite possible that she had it. She asked how this was possible. Hong suggested that Dao Xin take this seriously and look for it at home, just in case. Having found the bead in her possession, Dao Xin said that it turns out she really had it all this time. Hong also told Daoxin that her elder brother really brought a lot of things. Daoxin said that she couldn't believe it and asked Xiang Tian how he could do this and how he could even steal something from her elder brother. Xiang Tian asked Daoxin not to be so rude because he was going to give these stolen items to the police. Daoxin asked if he really stole the bead from him, after which she said that she realized that he was really something. Seeing the heavenly scroll in his wallet, Xiang Tian asked Daoxin if this was her brother's usual place of business. Daoxin said that this was true and asked what happened. Xiang Tian said that he had something to do, so he would leave first. Further, after leaving, Xiang Tian thought that it seemed that the scrolls were not the same and that someone was also looking for other scrolls besides his own. He also thought that he would have to conduct an investigation because the truth he wanted to get was in them. His thoughts were interrupted by a phone call. The girl called and said that it was urgent and asked him to come to the taekwondo club tomorrow and say that he was her boyfriend. Xiang Tian asked his cousin why she was pretending to have a boyfriend again. The girl said that she was not Ye Qing but Bingxin. After that, she asked why he couldn't even recognize her voice. Then, without waiting for an answer, she said that he should come anyway. Xiang Tian then wondered whether he should rent himself out as a guy in order to earn money in the future, but the next day he still arrived at the indicated place, and Bingxin asked why it took him so long to get there. Xiang Tian replied that it was all because of the traffic jam. After that, Bingxin took his hand and pulled him somewhere, saying that he needed to hurry up and help her because the situation was now completely one-sided. Arriving at the place, Xiang Tian saw two guys fighting. Bingxin told one of them to stop because he broke the rules, and this is taekwondo. The guy stopped and clarified who said that they must follow the rules of taekwondo. Xiang Tian thought that he felt something familiar, a feeling of disgust, the same as from the servants of the Quicksand. After that, he approached that guy and said that the previous one had had enough and that the next opponent would be him. That guy began to introduce himself as Yilan, but Xiang Tian hit him between the legs at that moment. Other fighters accused him of not following the rules, but Xiang Tian said that Yilan said that there were no rules, which means he did nothing wrong. After that, one of the fighters said that if this is so, then they can beat him all together, and after that they all went to him to beat him. Qing Shui asked them not to do this, and other normal guys also spoke, but they did not listen to them. Xiang Tian said that he can handle Yilan alone and they don't need to get closer to him. But the guys did not listen to him, and came up, ready to beat him. But in the end, everything happened in a way they did not expect. Xiang Tian defeated them all. Yilan asked Xiang Tian what he was doing and then said that the fight was over and he had won. Xiang Tian said that for some reason he didn't like what he did and he would have to teach him a lesson so that he wouldn't do anything bad again. On the way somewhere, Xiang Tian met a girl and asked what she was doing here. The girl said that she wanted to ask him something, namely, whether he had heard about a disease that makes you feel cold when the full moon comes. They walked on together, and he replied that he knew and that it was called a cold moon. This is a hereditary disease, with 80% of people suffering from it, not living past the age of 30. The girl asked if there was a cure for it. Xiang Tian exclaimed that he could help cure him, but she must become his young wife. The girl agreed. Xiang Tian thought that it was easy and said that he would check her family's illness without it and would not take advantage of the situation. At that moment, Zhao Tianyu met them on the way and said that he had finally found her. The girl told him that she had already told him not to look for her anymore and asked him to leave. Zhao Tianyu asked not to talk to her like that because she is his future wife and her father agrees with this. At that moment, Xiang Tian came between them and said that if her father agreed, then let him marry her father, because she asked him to leave. Zhao Tianyu asked Xiang Tian who he was to her and said that it was none of his business. Xiang Tian exclaimed that she was now his young wife and clarified in response who he was to her. Zhao Tianyu asked Bai Yi whether Xiang Tian was talking nonsense or the truth. Then, without waiting for an answer, Zhao Tianyu took Bai Yi's hand and asked her to come with him, because he wanted to see how she would explain herself to her father. Bai Yi asked what he was doing and said that she was in pain. After that, Xiang Tian grabbed Zhao Tianyu's hand so much that it hurt him and asked if he wanted to kidnap the girl in broad daylight. After that, he let him go and moved on with the girl, asking her not to pay attention to him. They went further to Bai Yi's house and the grandmother asked the guy if he was the same Xiang Tian. Bai Yi introduced him to her grandmother. Xiang Tian greeted his grandmother. Grandma said that she was convinced that, as Yi said, he was a good person. Xiang Tian wondered what kind of atmosphere this was and why it was like meeting his parents. After that, he said that he was ready to start treating Bai Yi right now. Grandmother asked if it was a divine needle. Xiang Tian said positively and began treatment. During the treatment, Bai Yi said that the cold in her body disappeared and that she had never felt so relaxed. Xiang Tian said that he had read that it is very difficult to eradicate the root of the disease, so he can only guarantee that it will not return in 5 years. The grandmother said that 5 years is a long time because their family suffers from this every day. Xiang Tian further said that after treating Bai Yi, it was her turn. Grandmother agreed. And at that moment, Uncle Bai Yi came in and clarified what he was doing. Bai Yi replied that this was Xiang Tian, whose doctor she asked to come and treat their family. The uncle asked what kind of doctor he was, and whether he had a license and what hospital he was from, and whether he was here to rob them. The grandmother replied that he came to them completely free of charge and asked why he continued to interrogate him. Uncle said that only cheese in a mousetrap is free. Xiang Tian said that if it is not free, then it is a scam, and if it is free, then it is no good at all. The grandmother asked him to apologize to the doctor or leave. The uncle said that he had already told her that he would find a doctor to cure them, and all she had to do was give him another 100,000 yuan. Bai Yi asked her uncle how many times he asked his grandmother for 100,000 yuan, and how many times he found a reliable doctor, and why he doesn't believe in Xiang Tian, because she really got better. Uncle asked Bai Yi what she was talking about. After his words, he raised his hand to strike, but Xiang Tian stopped his hand. The uncle clarified what he was doing. Xiang Tian said that he checked his pulse and saw that in women it is much more serious than in men, and asked if he knew this. He further let go of his hand and said that this was the reason why he took a lot of money from the Bai family under the pretext and that he wanted to kill the women of the Bai family so that the family's fortune would become his. Uncle said he was talking nonsense. Grandmother said that if you think about it, it is true that he constantly says that they are making a fuss about this disease and constantly asks her for money to go to the doctor. Xiang Tian asked permission to teach him a lesson from his grandmother. Grandma allowed it. Bai Yi asked her grandmother not to be angry, but her uncle said that this was all wrong and asked her to listen to him. Further, Xiang Tian told his uncle that in women the disease is no more severe than in men, but in them it manifests itself later. Xiang Tian also told his uncle that it could manifest itself very quickly, and asked if he had noticed that lately he had been feeling more uncomfortable than ever. The uncle asked Xiang Tian how he knew. Bai Yi asked if what he was saying was true. Xiang Tian replied that this was true, and that he might not live to see the end of the year. Grandmother asked to save him, because he is still her son, even if he is a bastard. Xiang Tian said that he would save him, but it would not be for free. As payment, he wants half the value of his family's property. After treating her grandmother, Bai Yi went to see Xiang Tian off and decided to talk to him. On the street, Bai Yi thanked Xiang Tian for coming to help her family today and asked for forgiveness for her uncle because he was very rude to him. Xiang Tian said that this matter has nothing to do with her. While still leaving, Xiang Tian said that her uncle could come to him when he wanted to be cured, but asked to remember that he wanted half of the family property and said that he did not bargain. One day at a bar, Wan Yanling met a girl and asked if she knew details about Xiang Tian. The girl said that she knew everything about him. Wan Yanling asked if she was his friend. The girl replied that he was her enemy. After that, the girl told Wan Yanling everything she knew and thought that it was all because of Xiang Tian. After all, Xu Xiaokong no longer wants to see her, but she wants to buy branded items, and now she can only earn money this way. One day, Xiang Tian saw Qing Shui and asked if these people came to her later with troubles. Qing Shui answered in the negative and said that he himself should be careful because he beat that guy badly and he can take revenge. Next, Wan Nianling approached them, and Xiang Tian hit him and asked for forgiveness, saying that he was thinking that someone wanted to take revenge on him. Wan Nianling said that he knows all its secrets. Xiang Tian wondered what secrets he knew, whether he knew about his special physique that had been discovered, whether he knew that he had a heavenly remnant scroll, and whether he knew about his parents. In general, he didn't know what to think. Wang Nianling said that he was a poor guy who had just graduated from Shanghai High School, and that he used to go to work on the street and that the money he earned was barely enough to buy food. He further asked him not to let Qing Shui be deceived. Xiang Tian asked if that was all he knew. Qing Shui asked Xiang Tian if he would go out to dinner with her and why he was always so busy. Xiang Tian exclaimed that he had something to do and therefore he should leave first. After that, Xiang Tian began to leave and said so. Qing Shui asked him not to come home too late. Xiang Tian agreed. Wan Yanling was surprised why, after everything he said, Qing Shui continued to live with Xiang Tian. On the way, Xiangtian noticed that someone was following him and thought that most likely he knew why these guys did not return for more troubles and they had been waiting all this time. He further asked if the area was open enough. The man clarified whether he injured Takashita Dairo. Xiangtian clarified whether that was his name, because he forgot about it. He also asked if he had sent him to him. The man said that the dead do not need to know so much and began to attack. Xiangtian defeated him very quickly. Before his death, the killer asked Xiangtian how he knew. Xiangtian said that it doesn't matter, because people who are about to die don't ask so many questions. Further taking out this person's documents, Xiangtian said that he wanted to find out what organization he was from. Further learning where he came from, he had a good idea. Meanwhile, this organization reported to the boss that they had sent a total of 37 experts this time. The Dragon Group also arrived, and Fang Rufeng was also invited to help. The boss asked to beware of Quicksand, because this event cannot be missed. After that, she wondered what kind of anxiety it was inside, as if something was about to happen. Another organization reported to the Lord that everything was ready, and there were only 3 level 1 killers, 27 level 2 killers, and 100 level 3 killers. The Lord said that he heard that Fang Ruifeng also participated. The servant replied that it was Yawanking who asked for it. The Lord said that someday, sooner or later, he must kill Fang Ruifeng, and no matter what, the Heavenly Remnant Scroll must be captured. The servant completely agreed with him on this. The leader of the killers asked if everything was ready. He was told that almost. The leader asked where the others were. He was told that Takashita was wounded, and he, having learned about this, went to avenge Takashita. The leader said not to wait for him, because he knows where the place is. Sister Daoxin asked Brother Daoxin what the islanders were asking them to steal. Brother answered that this is a small scroll of small size, and although he has lost the photo, he still remembers its appearance. My sister was also wondering if they would really get 5 million when they got it. The brother exclaimed that it was even possible that they would get a lot more if they talked about it again. Then they began to gather according to the plan to go to the indicated place. The sister asked her brother to hurry up, because the car was already approaching. The brother put on a wig and offered to see what would happen next. The car drove up to the indicated place, and they, already dressed as old people, blocked the road. People got out of the car and walked towards them. The brother told the sister that as soon as they let them get into the car, everything would be in their hands. They asked for help. The people who got out of the car did not believe them and began to take off their wigs. Having made sure that, as expected from the boss, these were still wigs, they did not help them like old people. The sister asked the guys to be gentle with them. The armed man asked to finish this crap and get out of the way. At that moment, the shooting started, and the girl in the car thought that what was going to happen would happen. Then she got out of the car and asked everyone else to also get out of the car, because the guests were already here. The brother clarified whether it was a shot. The sister asked what was going on and if he said they just needed to steal it without shooting. The brother replied that they were being used as bait. My sister suggested running away. The girl said that since they were all here, she asked them to introduce themselves, because if the shooting continued, then all the flying tigers would be dispersed. The Lord came out and asked Fan Rufeng if he was afraid of dying here, since he had been fighting for so many years. Fan Rufeng told the Lord that he had better worry about himself, since he had never lost a fight against him. The Lord said that there are many people who do not know how to live and die, and whoever dares to steal the heavenly scroll from him will die. After that, they began to fight. Meanwhile, someone was watching all of them from the third side, and he became interested in who would ultimately get the heavenly scroll, because the battle continued. The seagull and the mussel are engaged in a fierce battle, and so he, like a fisherman, will wait in the distance. The Lord told Fan Zhifen that he would kill him today. Fan Rifan asked the Lord if he had such an opportunity. The other killers decided that the scroll was in one of the cars, and they decided to go and take it from there. Ye Wanqin tried to stop them, but neither she nor her assistants were able to stop those who managed to take the scroll and escape. Xiangtian realized that it looked like there was a winner, and it was his turn to act now. These people were still being pursued, but at some point they noticed that supposedly Takashita had run up to them and handed him a scroll with the words that he was the best in terms of stealth, so he could take it and run away. Xiangtian began to run away, and after him they told him to remember that he would be met at the standard place. Having disappeared completely, Xiangtian thought that it was too simple, and they would be furious if they knew who the scroll was given to. While in a safe place, Xiangtian decided to try comparing the scrolls and noticed how amazingly the two of them fit together. They connected together, and Xiangtian felt strange sensations and lost consciousness. While in a strange state, Xiangtian heard phrases that the path can be completed, God can be killed. This is also the path to heaven, and many other phrases. After coming out of the state, Xiangtian thought that it seemed that he had made another breakthrough, and it seemed that he had broken through to the third level of heavenly awakening, and wondered if it was the power of the heavenly scroll that had such an effect. Yawankin said that this matter could not remain in this state, and she asked to find and eliminate everyone from the Quicksand in Zhenghai City. The attendant told her they were short-staffed. Although the Special Operations Division has many new recruits, their combat effectiveness is very limited. Yawankin asked to transfer people, hire experts from the Dragon Group, because she wants to reorganize Zhenghai City. At some point, Xiangtian received an SMS message saying that someone was holding Bai Yi, and if he wanted her to survive, he should come alone to the Shu family's warehouse in the east of the city. After that, Xiangtian went there. When he arrived, he found a man holding Bai Yi hostage who told him that he was finally here. Bai Yi asked for help. Xiangtian said that this is another warehouse, another kidnapping, and it looks like one scenario. Next, Xiangtian wondered if they really couldn't change the plot, because it had already become damn boring. Bai Yi asked to be careful, because his enemies were approaching him from behind in order to kill him. Xiangtian said that no matter what was supposed to happen, he would give them a different version of the plot. The man said that he will destroy him, but first he wants him to see him playing with Bai Yi, not letting him move. Xiangtian asked the man if he would really destroy him, and then said that today he would show what it means to be destroyed. He asked everyone around him to kneel, and they all obeyed him. The man asked his assistants what they were doing and why they knelt at Xiangtian's request. Deputies said they didn't know what happened, but they were instantly weakened and had no choice. Then they began to say that Xiangtian was up to something and began to get up and attack, saying that they would kill him. But Xiangtian overpowered everyone and told the man that today he would do a good deed and destroy his desires. Xiangtian further added that he had never been so ruthless, but this time he would make an exception for him. The man asked not to come closer to him and asked how he did it all. But Xiangtian continued to approach, saying that if he had only touched him, he would not be so angry. The man told Xiangtian that he was not a person, but some kind of demon. Xiangtian asked him how dare he touch his woman. The man asked Xiangtian not to approach and said that if he approached, he would be forced to do something. But Xiangtian approached and deprived him of his hand. Xiangtian further told Bai Yi that he would take her out when he was finished. Xiangtian told the man that before leaving, he would give him a gift. He did something and said that it stopped his bleeding, so he should thank him. Xiangtian further told the man that now he cannot move not only because of the blood, but also because of his entire body, because it itches and causes him pain. But he can't move or speak, so he'll have to suffer forever. He further said that he deserves it, and left with Bai Yi. Bai Yi asked Xiangtian on the way whether he would always be like this now, and asked him to simply punish him for 5 months so that he would no longer dare to do anything to them. Next, at the hospital, someone asked if his son was really hopeless, and if they really couldn't do anything in such a big hospital. The doctor replied to Mr. Zhao that he was very sorry, but unfortunately, this is exactly the case. The doctor also reported about the other people who were brought to the hospital that they all had fractures in the lower parts of their bodies. Zheng immediately thought that this was the work of Xiangtian, who, in his opinion, killed his son. Next, the head was informed that Takashita was dead, and his clothes were taken away. The head clarified whether the person they so desperately helped escape was not Takashita. They answered him that this was so and that all their brothers died in vain. The chief then asked what the name of the man Takashita was hunting was. He was told that he was hunting Xiangtian. The head asked to bring Xiangtian alive to him. The servants agreed to carry out this order. At some point, Zheng Ru called Xiangtian and asked if he wanted to have dinner. Xiangtian exclaimed positively and said that he was pleased to be invited to dinner. Zheng Ru said that he should decide where and what to order. Then they met after the call, and Zheng Ru asked where he wanted to go. Xiangtian said that there was no need to go anywhere because it was very close to them and pointed to this place. Approaching the table and sitting down at it, Xiangtian clarified to Zheng Ru why she was standing, because she could also sit down. Zheng Ru said that if he wanted to come to such a place, then he should have told her in advance so that she could change her clothes. Xiangtian said that everything was fine, and that she looked good no matter what she wore. Next, they brought the food they ordered, and Xiangtian said that it smelled very good and that he really liked it, after which he clarified Zheng Ru's opinion. Zheng Ru replied something and then asked what was wrong with him. Xiangtian said that someone was watching them. Zheng Ru asked who it was and where he was. Xiang Tian said that these are several islanders who are now changing clothes. Xiang Tian also said that they would probably be here in a couple of minutes. Zheng Ru asked how he knew and why they were changing clothes. Xiang Tian exclaimed that the Special Operations Division was now hunting ninjas everywhere. He also said that if they showed up like that, they would be tracked down in less than 2 hours. Next, he suggested that Zheng Ru look at them, because now they can already be seen walking towards him. They approached them and offered to go with them. Xiang Tian asked if they would pay the bill if he went with them. He was asked not to resist, and was told that in order to kill Takashita, he must be a mid to late yellow level. One of them said that the 4 of them had the same strength as him, so he had no chance against the 4. Next, Zheng Ru dropped her glass, and one of the guests asked what happened and whether she had eyes. Zheng Ru asked for forgiveness and said that she had not noticed. The guest said that she was beautiful and he would forgive her if she ate with him. Xiang Tian told him that this was his girlfriend, and he would kill him if he touched her anymore. The man said there wasn't a single woman in the area that he couldn't get. People around were wondering what was going on and whether anyone wanted to quarrel with Biao. Also, someone said that this someone is crazy. Xiang Tian asked Biao if he thought he was alone and could not see his subordinates. Biao asked Xiang Tian if he really thinks that they are afraid of them, because they can easily defeat them. Biao also asked if he was rich enough to hire security. While the islanders were fighting with the cafe guests, Xiang Tian and Zheng Ru ran away. Zheng Ru told Xiang Tian that it was great and that he was smart, because not everyone can pit enemies against each other so that they bite each other. Xiang Tian said that it was too good to be true, and these idiots would not be able to handle these dogs. Hearing this, Zheng Ru suggested leaving the place where they had run, because this alley was a dead end, and they would be stuck here. Xiang Tian took the pipe and asked Zheng Ru if she wanted to become a hero. Zheng Ru asked which hero. Xiang Tian gave her another pipe and asked her to take it. She took it and thought that Xiang Tian always saves her, and she should also be brave. Zheng Ru further said that she would be a hero, and prepared for battle. Xiang Tian told her that she needed to wait a little longer, because the right time had not yet come. Next, he called Shu and asked him to send the car to the right address. At some point, he said that he should stop hiding, because he knows that he is there, and that he himself is keeping him surrounded, so he asks him to surrender. One of the islanders came out and told Xiang Tian that he was being reckless. Next, Xiang Tian told Zheng Ru that she could do it now. Zheng Ru asked if she really could. Xiang Tian replied that these people are not doing anything good in their area. They are all murderers who have taken several lives. Xiang Tian also said that she should just walk up and hit them. She did this because he immobilized them all with the help of his abilities. They didn't understand what was happening. Further, after all this, Xiang Tian thanked her for her help. Next, Xiang Tian approached one of them with a needle and tried to find out how many of them were still alive and where they were. The islander replied that if he had enough courage, then let him kill him. Xiang Tian said that he could make his life miserable. He further did, and said that he cut him at a certain point, and said that he would now see how long he could endure it. The man asked to stop and said that he would tell everything. Xiang Tian did not understand why so quickly. The man said that there were 10 of them. Xiang Tian said that if he did not tell the truth, he would ask someone else and make him suffer like this until he died. The man said that there are 3 more, namely jonin and 2 special chunin. The man also said that special chunin live in a small hotel in the middle of nowhere, and jonin lives in an abandoned warehouse. Xiang Tian said that he already liked this answer better. At this moment, Xu Dechuan came and said that they were already here. Xiang Tian was surprised that Xu Dechuan himself came to the place. Gao Fei said that he took the things that he disposes of. Xu Dechuan said that it was so, because he was sure that he would have to take care of his affairs himself. Gao Fei asked whether to dismember them, or throw their corpses into the sea, or do both at once. Xiang Tian exclaimed that there was no need for this. At some point, a servant ran into Yewankin and said that there was something outside. Next, they went outside and saw their servants with a note from the courier, which said that their ninja order would be delivered in several parcels. Yewankin asked if there was anyone else, and noticed another note saying that this was a special delivery from Chuning. Someone else ran out and asked what just happened. Yewankin replied that this style of work is similar to Long's work style, but he has been dead for many years. Then Xiang Tian arrived somewhere and told Gao Fei to wait for him in the car with Xu Dechuan until he came out. He also asked Gao Fei to protect both of them if something happened. Gao Fei agreed to his proposal and Xiang Tian left. Meanwhile, in her office, Yewankin wondered what was going on here and who could do the same job as Long. She even thought about Xiang Tian, but then changed her mind, remembering that he could not be that strong. She thought that Xiang Tian had only studied martial arts with Yin Ni for half a month. She further thought that these ninjas did not want to talk, so she would ask Xiang Tian, but after trying to reach him, she was unable to do so. Faced with this, Ye Wanqin thought that Xiang Tian was very strange, because he bought a phone and at the same time kept it constantly turned off whenever she called. Arriving at an abandoned warehouse and seeing a man there, Xiang Tian asked him if he was waiting for him to invite him on a date. This man tried to attack and said that he did not expect him to have such abilities. Xiang Tian said that he would also fall into his hands. The jonin said that he is not like the others. Xiang Tian tried to find out if he wanted to play with the bladed weapon and said that he was willing to play with it. Jonin saw Xiang Tian's green cloud dagger and tried to find out if it was from Quicksand. Xiang Tian said that they do not deserve this. He also said that even if he has plans, today he will not be able to implement them. The jonin asked if he wanted to stop him and said that it would be difficult for him to do this because this was his home, and he lost and fired smoke bombs. Xiang Tian asked what he was talking about and said that he had not lost yet. After cutting Xiang Tian's dagger, jonin told him that he was not even armed right now and asked how he could fight him further. He also said that they, shinobi, can detect and attack an enemy without eyes, but he cannot do that. The jonin also said that he should not use such childish methods, because he would not find him by listening to his voice. He also asked to give the heavenly scroll, or he would die a terrible death, and he would not spare any of his family and friends. Xiang Tian said that he hates it when people want to touch his family and friends, so he will have to suffer worse than others. The jonin wondered that he didn't think he could see him, but it wasn't clear why he was so confident in himself. The jonin also thought that he was probably bluffing and didn't see where he was and couldn't escape. But Xiang Tian put his hand on his shoulder and asked Zhonggin if he thought that he really used his hearing and not his sight, and said that he could see it. Next, Xiang Tian hit jonin and walked away. The jonin wondered how this was possible since no one could see someone in such colored smoke, at least no one he had encountered before Xiang Tian could do this. Xiang Tian walked over, knocked him to the ground and said that he relies on sounds and smells to determine the location, and he relies on his eyes, so he lost from the very beginning, but he did not even imagine this. The jonin wondered what happened and why he couldn't defend himself, why his body wasn't functioning. He didn't understand why everything was happening this way. Xiang Tian said that he allowed him to stab him with a knife to control his acupuncture points with a silver needle, and also added that he hates when people touch his family and friends, so he will be worse than others. Taking the jonin's dagger, Xiang Tian told him that it had opened his pain points and balance points, crushed his bones, so all he could do was enjoy. And about the blade, he said that it was good and that he would keep it for himself. Next, a car arrived with Zheng Ru, who asked Xiao Fei if Xiang Tian was okay and if he had left yet. But at that moment, Xiang Tian pulled jonin out of the warehouse, and Zheng Ru asked why he was injured. Xiang Tian exclaimed that everything was fine. After this, Xiang Tian asked Xu Dechuan to take the book after returning, copy it, ask 10 translators to translate the words into Chinese, and then give it to Xiao Fei. Xu Dechuan agreed to fulfill his request. Xiang Tian said that there was another package. And then, the next day, Ye Wanqin and his servants saw jonin near their office. Ye Wanqin wondered what could have done this and then called Xiang Tian. Xiang Tian saw the call from his aunt and accepted it. His aunt asked him if he wanted to join the special team. Xiang Tian replied that he did not want to do this and ended the call. Xiang Tian saw another call immediately after finishing the conversation with his aunt, accepted it without looking at the number, and repeated as if to his aunt that he had told her that he did not want to do this. But this time, it was Zhao Tianyu's father who called. And Zhao Tianyu's father said that his son was dead. Xiang Tian was surprised and tried to find out why this happened, since he didn't hit him hard. Zhao Tianyu's father said that he made his son crippled and he eventually killed him himself. Xiang Tian told him that he was an idiot because he just wanted to teach him a lesson and that his son would get better in a few months. His father said that there was no need to lie to him, because he himself sent him on his way, and now he will send Bai Yi too. Xiang Tian asked him what he did to Bai Yi. Zhao Tianyu's father said that it was too late, and also said that Bai Yi was with his son on Highway 32 outside the city. He liked Bai Yi and sent her to join him. After the call ended, Xiang Tian used the Wandering Cloud's Immortal Steps technique to quickly run towards the indicated location. Those who saw him run thought that he created strong winds and that he looked like Superman. Then Xiang Tian finally came running and found a car moving towards the cliff. While running, he dreamed of being on time, and in the end, he did it. He stopped the car and told Bai Yi, who got out of the car, that everything would be fine. The man told Xiang Tian that he was just thinking that it would be easy for him, but he obviously couldn't stand against a bullet and pointed the gun at him. He told Xiangtian that he would bury him with his son. Xiangtian said that apparently he was not good enough because he wanted to try to catch the bullet, but he couldn't. The man, not understanding how it was possible that he could not hit Xiangtian, continued to shoot over and over again. Xiangtian further approached the man and said that since he was crazy, he would let him go completely crazy and took out his needles. After he dealt with the man, he decided to send Bai Yi home. Xiangtian walked up to her and said that she could go and not be afraid that that man could ever harm her. Bai Yi asked Xiangtian what he did to him. Xiangtian said that he simply helped the man go completely crazy. Next, Xiangtian sent Bai Yi home and his aunt called him again and asked the same question if he wanted to join the special team. Xiangtian was about to answer her negatively again, but she interrupted him. She also said that she thought about including him in a group with Lin Bingbing after he joined the special team, but since he doesn't want to, he can forget about it. Xiangtian asked her who told her that he didn't want to. He also told her that he just didn't listen to her well, and that now he was going to behave well, and was thinking that a lot of things had happened lately, and he wanted to find out a lot, and it would be easier if he joined. Aunt liked the answer. Next, Xiangtian came to his aunt's office, and she told him that the special team is divided into 7 ranks, namely trainees. Then there are 7 ranks, 7 of which is the highest. She further said that from today he becomes a rank 1 member of the Jiaxia Special Forces. There are 100 rank 1 members in the entire province, but in Zhanghai, there are only 30. Xiangtian asked why he skipped the trainee level and ended up at rank 1. The aunt replied that she knew everything about him, and therefore there was no need for him to undergo an internship. Xiangtian said that this is true, because no one knows him better than his aunt. After this, the aunt said that in a special forces team, promotion in rank occurs due to the completion of tasks, and the more difficult the task, the faster he rises in rank. Xiangtian asked what the advantage of promotion was. The aunt replied that there was a special forces team working here, the advantages of which he would learn about later. She also asked to be careful and not go beyond the rank to receive the task, because the mortality rate would be very high. Next, the aunt asked if there was anything else he wanted to ask. Xiangtian tried to see if he could ask about his parents. The aunt replied that when one day he reaches the level of his father, he will have the right to know everything. Xiangtian said that everything was clear to him and that there were no more questions and that he was leaving. Ye Wankin thought that she knew he could do it since he was Long's son. Afterwards, Xiangtian met with Lin Bingbing, who said that she heard that he had joined the Special Forces team and asked if he was with her. Xiangtian exclaimed that she was very knowledgeable. Lin Bingbing further asked permission to tell him that her greatest desire is to join the Dragon team, and if she wants to join, then she must become a member of the 7th rank. She also said that this is why she will work hard on assignments to gain experience and hope that it will not be a burden to her. Xiangtian said that she need not worry because he would definitely cooperate. Lin Bingbing said that this was good and that now they should go to the hotel room together. Xiangtian asked what they would do there. Lin Bingbing replied that they would carry out the task. After that, they went to the hotel room. Once in the hotel room, Xiangtian asked Lin Bingbing if he could come in now. Lin Bingbing said that she needed to wait a little longer. Xiangtian asked if it was not yet and said that he couldn't bear it anymore. Lin Bingbing said that if he couldn't bear it, then he could move away, sit down and wait. She also said that this is all due to the fact that this site requires identification confirmation when you first log in. Lin Bingbing further said that he was breathing down her neck and it annoyed her. After that, he walked away, lay down and asked why they went to the hotel to use the computer if they could have chosen an internet cafe for this. Lin Bingbing said that one should not look at such a secret site in public. Xiangtian asked why not go to his house because in his opinion, using the hotel computer is also not very secret. Lin Bingbing replied that she did not want to be alone with him at home, and this site has strict privacy measures, and it will never leave traces of use or be hacked. And at that moment, she managed to enter the site. Lin Bingbing further said that the missions of the Special Forces team can be divided into 7 types, namely A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Her current level for completing tasks is G, that is, basic, and hope to complete a class task F is small. Xiangtian asked to choose 10 tasks at random. Lin Bingbing said that he was crazy because she can only take 2 at a time and she has a deadline for completing them, so they will have to choose. Xiangtian said that in such a case, you can choose 2, among which one is arresting the fugitive, and the other is collecting evidence. He intervened and selected these tasks to complete, after which he began to leave the hotel room. Lin Bingbing followed him and said that both of these tasks have a 3-day deadline in which they must complete these 2 tasks and asked Xiangtian if this was good. Xiangtian offered to go with him. Arriving at a club called Star, he approached Hong and asked her to check the person's whereabouts for him while he went away and would return in a few minutes. Hong said she charges for this, but Xiangtian pretended not to hear her and went outside. Lin Bingbing followed him out and asked where he wanted to start and if he could tell her the plan. Xiangtian asked her to take him to his next destination. She drove him. On the spot, Xiangtian said that the house of the secretary suspected of corruption is here, but their neighborhood has strict rules, and you also need to show a card to enter the building, so they must figure out a way to enter. Next, Xiangtian noticed and said that the window was not closed. Lin Bingbing asked how he knew this, and said that the apartment was on the 4th floor, and asked him not to say what he could see. Xiangtian asked her to stand guard and climbed up. After sneaking into the apartment, Xiangtian pondered that no one was home at this time, and he didn't know where they went to spend the money. But he was there, and the next step was to look for evidence. Lifting the sheet, Xiangtian thought after what he saw that it was as smooth as the plot of a TV show. After that, Xiangtian left the building and returned to Lin Bingbing. Lin Bingbing asked what was there. Xiangtian exclaimed that he had collected a lot of evidence, photographed the ledger, and so on. Lin Bingbing said it was great. Next, Xiangtian suggested going to Hong, because the order should be practically completed, so they went there. Arriving at the club, Hong said that she took out all the information and asked where her money was for her work. Xiangtian thanked Hong for her work and gave her a map, saying that there were still several 100,000 on this map. He also said that she could transfer them, and said that the password on this card for this consisted of 6 zeros. Hong took the card, and Xiangtian said that they should follow him now. Lin Bingbing asked why so quickly. Xiangtian replied that Hong's information was very reliable and there was no need to doubt it, and they left after that. Arriving at the right place, Lin Bingbing said that when she counted to 3, they would enter. Xiangtian agreed to her condition. She counted to 3, they burst in. She said they were from the police and asked no one to move. No one, of course, began to listen to her and began to attack them. Xiangtian defeated everyone, and Lin Bingbing said that she did not expect everything to go so well. Xiangtian said that because she was too strong, none of them had time to react. Lin Bingbing said that he himself was not bad, and if not for him, they would not have been able to catch them so quickly. He then offered to hand them over. They came to the office to complete tasks. The person receiving was surprised to see that they had only been on the task for 2 hours. Xiangtian asked him to hurry up and pass the mission and give all the points to Lin Bingbing. She asked why to her. Xiangtian said that he is in the Special Forces team because of her, and he has no need for experience points. The host said that they had broken the speed record and they would be awarded 50% of the total experience, but the reward would not increase. Xiangtian told the receiver that he understood everything. Lin Bingbing thanked Xiangtian. Xiangtian suggested starting new tasks as soon as possible. It was a crazy night. Xiangtian and Lin Bingbing completed 18 tasks in one night. This is a very surprising result. Since Xiangtian did not require experience points, the only person to submit tasks in the system was Bingbing. Because of this, all the members of the first-class Special Forces teams only knew about a person named Lin Bingbing from Jianghai City. Although they were surprised and envious, some of them were in a very bad mood towards her. One of them was Lu Qing, who ranked first in Class G assignments. In the conference room, one said that it was Lin Bingbing who completed 18 G-level tasks in one night. Another asked to look at page 1, because there were only a dozen tasks, and she was in all of them. The third wondered what she looked like. Among everyone, Lu Qing alone was furious. At this moment, Lin Bingbing walked in with Xiangtian. Lin Bingbing asked if it was here. Everyone told her that they could pass through and that it was here. Lin Bingbing greeted everyone and left. But at some point, Li Qing tripped her, causing her to almost fall. Next, Lu Qing asked Lin Bingbing if she wanted to apologize for hitting her leg. Lin Bingbing told Lu Qing that she was the one who pulled out her leg and caused her to trip and asked how she could kick it. At that moment, a man came in and tried to find out what the noise was. This man asked everyone present to use their powers to complete tasks and not to fight each other. Lu Qing asked the captain why he was so careless about recruiting and said that he recruited just anyone. The captain tried to find out what Lu Qing meant casually and said that Lin Bingbing had set a record of 18 tasks in one night, and the maximum had previously been set at 30 in a week. Next, Xiangtian made Lu Qing fall. Lu Qing asked what he was doing. Xiangtian replied that a good dog does not get in the way and moved on. Lu Qing swung her blade to kill Xiangtian. The captain asked her to stop, and Lin Bingbing warned Xiangtian about the danger. Lu Qing froze and didn't understand why she couldn't move. Next, the captain approached her, took her blade and said that she would be suspended from work for 3 days, and her promotion experience would be halved. Xiang Tian, the captain, said that he was also punished because he saw him kick her on purpose and he would leave him without experience for the next 30 G-level missions as punishment. Xiang Tian said that it did not matter at all. The captain went on to say that now that everything was settled, they should inform him of their plans for the coming week. Lin Bingbing said that they could now take the E-level quest and asked Xiang Tian if he wanted to take it. Xiang Tian asked if she really wanted to take on a more difficult task. Lin Bingbing said positively. Xiang Tian said that they could try. Lu Qing thought that she was going to be promoted to 2nd grade, but because of her, it wouldn't happen. After leaving the office, Xiang Tian told Lin Bingbing that she could go and he would go home to get some clothes. Lin Bingbing asked him to hurry up in this case. Xiang Tian agreed with her wishes and left. Further along the way, Qing Shui called him and said that he should not return home yet, because she saw Wan Nianling wandering below and she did not know what kind of trouble he was up to. He exclaimed that she shouldn't worry about him. Finding people near the house who wanted to fight with him, he overpowered them. And it turns out that Wan Nianling set up all this and filmed it all on his phone. Wan Nianling pondered that this was exactly what he wanted. He further said that he just needed to trim the video a little and go and report this to the newspaper editor that he was beating citizens. At this moment, Xiang Tian walked up to him, snatched the phone, and destroyed it. Wan Nianling tried to find out what he was doing and asked not to come closer. Xiang Tian said that he should ask him what he was doing here. He also asked him to never do such dirty tricks to him and to stay away from Qing Shui. Linger was lying in one of the houses. The man approached his father and tried to find out how she was and said that he had to save her. The father said that he was his grandson, and of course he would save him. He also said that it felt like the life force had been sucked out of his body, so the man had better find out who he recently offended. The man said that he would like to see who dared to attack his Wong family members. While near the computer, Lin Bingbing said that this is the most difficult mission of level E, and he will have to face the Quicksand killer. Lin Bingbing then asked Xiang Tian if he really wanted to take on this task. Xiang Tian replied that when he saw that it was Quicksand, he decided to take it and thought that this was a good way to take revenge. He further suggested that we go, because he knows where to look for them. Lin Bingbing asked how he knew this. Xiang Tian brought Lin Bingbing home. Lin Bingbing asked if this was his house and why they should be in his house. Xiang Tian replied that his house had always been and continues to be watched by the people from the Quicksand. Xiang Tian further said that they would follow them when they were relieved and go to their stronghold and destroy them all. Lin Bingbing asked what he was talking about and how the two of them would cope with them all. Lin Bingbing then asked what the Quicksand people watching his house were doing and why he was constantly having problems with them. Xiang Tian said that they thought he had something they needed, but he didn't. Lin Bingbing said that with their strength they could get it, but for some reason they don't, and asked why. Then they continued to follow. Xiang Tian suggested looking at what they started to do. Xiang Tian further said that they are most relaxed when they have just handed over a shift, and therefore suggested taking advantage of this. Lin Bingbing suggested waiting a little. Then they eventually followed them. Arriving at the place, Lin Bingbing said that they would sneak up on them, and since she had good shooting accuracy, she would kill everyone she could. At this moment, Xiang Tian shouted that they were all surrounded by two of them, so they should surrender. Lin Bingbing asked Xiang Tian if he was crazy. Xiang Tian didn't answer her, but told them all that he was warning them that if they didn't come out and surrender, they would kill them. Then they went out, and one of them told Xiang Tian that they were not looking for him, but he himself came to them. Lin Bingbing accused Xiang Tian of exposing them. Xiang Tian asked for forgiveness, and at that moment launched needles at all of them. They all hit, and Lin Bingbing asked in surprise how this was possible when she only fired one shot. Xiang Tian suggested going closer to them. Others who came wondered what was going on and why he was so strong. Xiang Tian exclaimed to them that he had said that they needed to surrender, otherwise they might be beaten. After that, those who came began to run away, but it was already useless, because if he saw them, they would be overcome by him. Next, reinforcements arrived, which Lin Bingbing had called in advance. The captain went further to Xiang Tian with Lin Bingbing and asked if the two of them did it together. Xiang Tian exclaimed that Lin Bingbing did all this herself, and he only watched. Lin Bingbing tried to say that this was not the case, but the captain interrupted her and congratulated her on being a second-class member of the Special Forces team from today. Lin Bingbing asked if this was true. The captain exclaimed that it was true. Next, Xiang Tian also congratulated her, and she thanked him. Further, Lu Qing, seeing the news of this, said that from now on, she would be rivals. In one of the houses, one of the men told Mr. Hu that something had happened to Wan Nianlin. Hu said that Xiang Tian has done something wrong again, and he really does what he wants, and has already disgraced 4 young masters of Jianghai. Hu then ordered that he be beaten to death. He said that Xiang Tian was close to Zheng Ru, so he could use her to lure him in, and then he could slam the door and kill them both. The man tried to find out if this was even possible. Hu tried to find out what he had just heard and whether they were afraid of him. After that, he said that with their power, it is easy to take away 2 lives, and asked if they were afraid of the woman. Mr. Hu then said that you need to forget about fear and just kill this woman. After all, what he cannot get, no one else can. While at home, Xiang Tian thought that this time everything had finally cleared up, and the Quicksand apparently would not send people here for some time. At that moment, a message came to his phone saying that Zheng Ru was in danger. After this message, Xiang Tian called Zheng Ru and asked if she was okay there. Zheng Ru said that she was fine and asked what happened. Xiang Tian asked not to go anywhere and wait for him where he was. Zheng Ru wondered what was wrong. Next, someone called Zheng Ru. She answered the call and asked what was going on. Someone exclaimed to her that Xiang Tian was dying. He was in her underground parking lot, and she could go down and save him. After that, Zheng Ru ran to the underground parking lot. They saw each other and ran to meet each other. Meanwhile, Mr. Hu's servants reported to him that they had arrived, and after that they organized their murder. Next, Hu and his friends celebrated their common victory, because this time they had done something great and decided to have a good time after that. Xiang Tian approached them and asked if they would take him with them to the celebration. Hu's friend tried to find out how this could have happened and how he could have escaped. Hu told Xiang Tian that his luck would not last forever and he would definitely die next time. Xiang Tian tried to ask Hu if he thought he would have another chance considering that he had gone too far by dragging Zheng Ru into this. Then he inserted needles into them, took them away, and said that they would not be able to come to their senses for the rest of their lives. Next, Xiang Tian went to Zheng Ru. She asked him if he was finished. Xiang Tian said that he told her not to go anywhere, but she left her office, and if he had not come quickly, then she would not have had a good ending. Zheng Ru said that she was worried about him. Xiang Tian suggested forgetting about it, because there would be no problems in the future. Lin Bingbing said after completing one of the tasks that she wanted to return to the department. Her colleagues advised her not to rush into it, but she still went into the elevator, but she fell out of there already unconscious. After that, she was taken to the hospital, and upon learning about this, Xiang Tian went to see her at the call of her colleagues. Entering the room, Xiang Tian asked why they called him and what happened. The man told Xiang Tian that it was him. He remembered that he and Lin Bingbing knew each other well, and that's why he called him. Xiang Tian asked what his name was, because he was in his debt. Tian answered his name and said that it was just a gesture of goodwill. Seeing Lin Bingbing, he thought it was strange and asked Qian how she got sick. Qian replied that they were investigating a murder case where the victim died in a strange way, and there were no clues, and Lin Bingbing fainted after leaving. Xiang Tian cured her, and she woke up and said that her head hurt very badly. Qian said it was incredible that she woke up. Lin Bingbing then asked how she ended up in the hospital and what was going on. Xiang Tian exclaimed that he didn't know exactly what kind of entity it was, but it looked like a ghost from a movie, and it didn't seem to be created by humans. Lin Bingbing said that there is no need to joke with her about ghosts. Xiang Tian said that she was just sick. This entity has sucked out a lot of her yang energy, and she is now very weak. He suggested that she rest, and he would go and breathe some air. Xiang Tian further asked Qian to lead him to the right place. Qian agreed, and on the way said that the person who had the accident was on the 18th floor. Something very strange was happening in the elevator. On the 18th floor, Qian woke up and asked what it was. Xiang Tian ordered to wait in the elevator and get out in a minute. Qian came out a minute later, and Xiang Tian was already near the apartment door. Seeing Xiang Tian, Qian told him that he was in the wrong apartment because the deceased was in the next apartment. Xiang Tian replied that he knew this very well, and he also knew that the killer was in the apartment he approached. He went further into the apartment and asked the one who touched his future wife to leave. That spirit tried to find out in response whether he had ruined his plan and injured his child. Xiang Tian said that he had many enemies before, but this was the first time he had to deal with someone like this guy. Then he asked to leave, because he was here to start a fight. The man told him that he was a brat who didn't know what he was doing. Seeing the man, Xiang Tian wondered what he was all about. The man said that his yang energy is very strong, and he is a treasure for his practice. The man went on to say that he needed the virgin's yang energy in order to break through, but he would do just fine. Xiangtian pondered that this was something that was neither human nor ghost. The man decided to start taking Xiangtian's energy, but Xiangtian said that he must finish him off first. After hitting him, Xiangtian asked him why he was so weak, because he thought that he was a master. The man ordered someone to kill Xiangtian in his place. Xiangtian felt a cold sensation and then eliminated the formation of something, which greatly frightened the man. After this, the man asked Xiangtian not to approach him. The man also told Xiangtian that he was a monster. Xiangtian asked him who he called a monster and beat him up. After all this, Xiangtian left the apartment to the waiting Qian, who tried to find out what it was and what happened. Xiangtian told Qian that the person he was seeing had committed a crime, and he asked Qian to take him away and interrogate him. And if he didn't say anything, then he should be told that he would return to him if he remained silent. After this, Xiangtian returned to Lin Bingbing. She asked him how he was able to return so quickly and whether he was injured. Xiangtian exclaimed that he was fine and had taken care of the matter especially for her. Lin Bingbing said that he saved her life again and helped her solve the case, and that she owes him more and more. Xiangtian said that she would pay him for everything at once if she became his wife. At this moment, Xiangtian received a call from Wan Nianlin's father and asked him to come to him because he wanted to talk to him. Xiangtian asked for forgiveness, said that he did not know anyone by that name, and ended the conversation. After that, a girl came to Wan Nianlin's father and asked if he had problems with Xiangtian, after which she also said that she knew what his weakness was. Meanwhile, Xiangtian was peeling the apple, and Lin Bingbing asked not to peel it because it was better to wash it so that she could eat it like that. Xiangtian said that he just wants to be a model visitor. After that, Xiangtian received a call from Baixin and said that Qing Shui had been kidnapped. Xiangtian told her to stay there while he walked and asked her not to call the police under any circumstances. Lin Bingbing tried to ask what was going on, but did not receive an answer. In one place, one girl told another that a funny situation had happened. Another said that she did not like to watch such fun. Then the first one said that we are talking about the very god of basketball. Baixin told Xiangtian who came that she was in a panic and did not remember the license plate number of the car, and also said that it was useless. Xiangtian told her that she shouldn't blame herself, because he would definitely bring Qing Shui back. Next, Xiangtian received a call from the same father of Wan Nianlin. Xiangtian asked not to disturb him, because he is very busy right now. His father asked him to remember that he was to blame. Xiangtian said that he would destroy his entire family if Qing Shui lost even one hair. Bingxin asked to go with him, because Qing Shui is her best friend, and she cannot leave her alone. Xiangtian told her that she was also his closest relative, so they would go together and bring her back. The girls came out and one of them asked the other if she had seen it. Another said that they give off a murderous aura. Although it is not mature enough, it is truly a murderous aura. She also said that there are two types of murderous aura, one caused by murder and the other by anger. The servant told Wan Nianlin's father that his plan had worked and Xiangtian was going to certain death. Father asked if Master John had been invited. The servant said yes, and that his subordinates gave him a red envelope with 1,000,000 yuan. The servant also said that John promised not to talk about it and is now in the backyard. Wan Nianlin's father said that after Xiangtian's bones were broken, he would allow his son to torture him personally. Arriving at the Wong estate, Xiangtian tried to find out Bingxin, as she thinks, where he should hit first. Bingxin replied that she needed to hit her in the face. Xiangtian tried to find out where the house should be demolished first. Bingxin pointed to the sign. Xiangtian told Bingxin that this was well said, and after that he broke the tablet and said that today he would destroy his tablet, then his bones, and finally, his entire estate. The servant reported to Wan Nianlin's father that Xiangtian broke their sign. Wan Nianlin's father that this sign was made by his father and became even more angry than before. Meanwhile, two girls were already near the estate. The redhead told her older sister that it was a lot of fun and that she liked the way this basketball god did everything. The older sister said that he would have problems. The younger sister asked if it was cooler and said that in any case, they were here to watch the fun because the more trouble the better. Xiangtian entered the estate. Wan Nianlin's father ordered all his servants to kill him, and they began to attack. As Xiangtian defeated them all, he also said that it was too late to be afraid. Wang Nianlin's father asked John. John said that he was the guardian of the Wong family, and since someone dared to destroy the tablet of the Wong family, then he should intervene in this matter. But before he did so, he asked who Xiangtian's master was. Xiangtian replied that he was not worthy to ask him who his master was. John said that he did not want to kill his friend's student, but since he is so ungrateful, Then he is not to blame, and he went on the attack. Xiangtian said what nonsense this is. John told Xiangtian that he was an impudent kid who smashed an egg against a stone. Xiangtian tried to find out if he remembered what he said about today. He would first tear down the sign and then break the bones. Wan Nianlin's father said that this was enough. Xiangtian, breaking John's bones, tried to find out what he said and said that he did not hear him. Father said that if he didn't let John go, he would make him regret it. Xiangtian said that if he wanted it so much, he would return it to him. After that, Xiangtian let go of Master Jian's hand and hit him so hard that Master Jian flew far away from him and straight towards Wang Nianlin's father. The bald man took Master Jian and told Xiangtian that he was too ruthless at such a young age. Xiangtian tried to find out when he finds someone to beat him. Does he say that he is young, and said that the reason is all his. Xiangtian told the bald man that he had nothing to do with it, because the one he wanted to fight with was Wan Nianlin's father. Wan Nianlin's father tried to find out what kind of place he thought Xiangtian was, and whether he thought he could beat whoever he wanted. He also tried to find out if he thought he could come and go whenever he wanted. Xiangtian said that then he would leave here, and began to leave. Then he began to return, and said that he was here again, and tried to find out if someone could stop him. Wan Nianlin's father said that as long as he was here, he would not be able to move. Xiangtian said that if he wants to go, no one can stop him. Baldy said that he has character, but let him not forget that he is here. Xiangtian asked who he was. The bald man said that he didn't know what he was doing, and even Fang Ruifeng wouldn't dare talk to him like that. Xiangtian asked if he was sick and said that Fang was well-mannered, and of course he would not talk to him like him. Next, Xiangtian asked to forget about it and asked Wan Nianlin's father if he was ready. Wan Nianlin's father asked what he thought he should be prepared for. Xiangtian said that, of course, he started beating him. During the fight, the bald man wondered why he was so fast, and after a while asked Xiangtian if he thought he was not here, after which he went on the attack. After the unsuccessful attack, he thought that Xiangtian was so strong that if he had not blocked it, he would have broken his ribs. He further said that it looked like he had not been in battle for too long, and he went on the attack. Meanwhile, the sisters watched, and the youngest said that Xiangtian was in trouble. This old man is a Xuan-level master, and his fighting skills are also not low. The elder sister said that this man is strong, but he is not fast and not very dexterous. The elder sister also said that defeating the old man is not difficult if you find the right opportunity. The younger sister said that as you can see, the basketball god is only at the late yellow level, so the chances of winning are very small. Xiangtian began to run away, thinking that the old man was too strong to fight head-on. The old man asked him not to run away if he was so impudent. At some point, Xiangtian caught a good moment, and thinking that the old man had been caught, kicked him. Next, the old man put on some bracelets and told Xiangtian that he forced him to do this. Xiangtian wondered what kind of tricks this old man was playing and how he could defeat him with the help of these bracelets. The old man tried to find out what else he could do to Xiangtian. Xiangtian replied that he wanted to hide some of his power, but it seemed that it would not be possible today. At this moment, Ye Wangqin came to Wang's estate and ordered them to stop. Ye Wangqin then told the Wang family that they had kidnapped her daughter and asked if that was true. Jian exclaimed that perhaps this was some kind of misunderstanding. Ye Wangqin said that they would stop talking nonsense because she had real evidence. Then they released Qingshui, and Jian said that it was his ungrateful son who kidnapped her daughter, but nothing terrible happened. Ye Wangqin asked how they could kidnap people and whether they thought that one day one of them would be captured. Xiangtian told his aunt that he would get even for Qingshui, and she could only watch. Auntie said that there was no point in being a hero, because this was Jie Xiaofeng, the former #1 master of Jianghai City. Xiangtian said that it doesn't matter who he is. Fang Ruifeng told Xiangtian that he had not seen him for several days, and his strength had increased significantly during this time. Ye Wangqin asked if they knew each other. Fang Ruifeng replied that he had met him before, but did not know that he was her nephew. Shi Xiaofeng tried to ask Fang Ruifeng if he wanted to join the fight, since they had not seen each other for a long time. Fang Ruifeng told Shi Xiaofeng that he had been fighting him for 10 years, but had never defeated him, and asked if he really thought that he needed someone to help him. The older sister suggested leaving. The younger sister ran after her. Xiangtian said that there is no need to talk about other people, because he himself is good enough to defeat him. Ye Wangqin wondered how he reached Xuan level. At this moment, Xiangtian moved to the early stage, then to the middle stage, and then to the late stage of Xuan level, and told Shi Xiaofeng that he would remain an idiot for the rest of his life, and defeated him. The other members of the Wang family were very surprised by this. Ye Wenqin was thinking that Xi Xiaofeng was probably the only late-stage Xuan-level master in the entire Jianghai city, and she wondered what happened to Xiang Tian. Xiang Tian thought that he had actually not yet reached the late stage of Xuan level, and it was just a bluff, but it was enough to scare the enemy. After that, he wondered who would next want to fight him. Next, he pulled the stones, collected them, and held them with his hands above his head. John asked Xiang Tian what he was up to. Ye Wenqin also became interested in this. Xiang Tian said that as he had already said, first he would destroy the tablet, then the bones, and finally their entire estate. John ordered the rest of the family to quickly go and demolish and destroy the entire mansion. The family members were not particularly in a hurry to do this, but John was persistent and asked if they were really waiting for Xiang Tian to demolish him with his own hands without their help. They replied that it would be destroyed and ran to destroy it. After that, Xiang Tian changed his mind about destroying everything, because everything was already being done for him, and they began to leave. Fang Ruifeng invited Xiang Tian to come to his Liulin villa and meet him for tea when he had time. Next, Xiang Tian and Ye Wenqin came to some room and she asked him to talk about it. Xiang Tian agreed and said that if she asked, he would tell her the truth. Ye Wenqin asked when he became so strong because she always thought that his strength was less than the yellow level. Xiang Tian replied that he became like this after training and was thinking about what he could not say about the stolen scroll. Ye Wenqin said that he can forget about it because she doesn't care why he is so strong, and since he is already a late Xuan level master, he can no longer be a first-grade member. She also said that he should be a member of the second class. Lin Bingbing had recently been promoted to second grade and decided to make him a special operations instructor, after which she asked his opinion about it. She further said that this position was always vacant before, and she wanted Fang Ruifeng to fill it, but he refused, and now that she has him, he can take the position. Xiang Tian said that he would not do this. Ye Wenqin said that he could not refuse because this was her order. Xiang Tian said that she was depriving him of his freedom of action. She said she was his aunt. After that, she pierced his finger and forced him against the paper. After that, Ye Wenqin proposed to gather all the leaders from 1 to 7, and she would introduce him to everyone. Further, in the training complex, there were rumors among the leaders that they say that they have a chief instructor, and no one knows yet who he is. While they were thinking out loud, Ye Wenqin came in with Xiang Tian and said that she was introducing them to the new chief instructor of their special operations department. One of the leaders asked if he had been a member of their team before. Ye Wenqin said that she invited Xiang Tian only so that he could familiarize himself with the situation. Xiang Tian thought that this was a rather dubious reason. She further said that he came to the first training of the special operations department for the 7 of them, and added that special training would be organized by Xiang Tian. Xiang Tian said that his training is simple. Xiang Tian sat on a chair and said that today their training is like this, and it consists in the fact that he will sit on a chair, and the 7 of them will try to throw him off it, and if they succeed, they will succeed. One said that if he did this, he was afraid it would hurt him. Another said that fists have no eyes. A third said that in the end, they are not playing a game, and it is hard to guess how hard they can hit. Xiang Tian said that they don't need to worry about this, because if someone can hurt him, then the position of instructor will be theirs. The leaders said that since he said so, they would not be polite in trying to throw him out of his chair. Ye Wenqin thought that they were becoming more similar to each other, namely father and son. Meanwhile, the leaders were unable to throw him off. Xiang Tian asked what was wrong and they couldn't move and admitted defeat. He went on to say that since they lost, they should run 10 laps around the court. They all agreed with his wishes and then ran. Ye Wenqin told Xiang Tian that he was great for subduing these idiots so easily. Xiang Tian said that to interact with different types of people, you need to use completely different methods, and said that after they finish, they can go their separate ways, because the rest of the training will be on another day. Next, Xiang Tian met with Xu Dechuan and asked how things were going lately. Xu Dechuan exclaimed that it was not bad because they made some money thanks to him. Xiang Tian said that he had some money left, so he would like to invest it in some business, and he needs his help. Xu Dechuan said that there was no problem with it, and asked what he wanted to invest in, whether it was antiques. Xiang Tian said that it is not necessary to buy antiques, because you can buy anything. Xu Dechuan said that he had been planning to invest in hotels and restaurants recently, and suggested that they do it together. Xiang Tian agreed. Xu Dechuan asked how much money was on the card. Xiang Tian said that it was not as much as we would like, namely, about 40 million. Xu Dechuan was afraid, and Xiang Tian asked if this was enough. Xu Dechuan said that there is enough for everything. At this moment, Xiang Tian received a call from Officer Qian and said that the guy had escaped. Xiang Tian wondered who he was talking about. Qian said that this is the person he captured at the crime scene after rescuing Lin Bingbing. After that, Xiang Tian came to Qian, and he told him that this guy did not utter a word, although he was interrogated and ended up in solitary confinement. He sat there for some time until that night, on which something strange happened. He showed the CCTV footage and indicated that a man had appeared in the room. He doesn't know how this man came to be. They checked the lock on the door and found no signs of forced entry, but the two of them simply disappeared into the room. Qian also said that they all thought it was incredible, and so they decided to call him. Xiang Tian asked to be taken to that very room. Qian agreed to this proposal and they went there. Arriving at the room, Qian said that they checked, and there were almost no traces of the person who came. The walls are also in order, according to him. Xiang Tian pondered that this person's movement was very careful, so there were no traces left. Next, Xiang Tian looked at the ceiling. Qian asked if there was something there. Xiang Tian asked to check the roof because there should be a clue on the maintenance floor. Qian asked how they could climb onto the roof without tools. Xiang Tian said that they should search as he told them and not ask questions. Meanwhile, he thought that by allowing the tiger to return to the mountain, he would definitely return to take revenge and it would be okay if he attacked him. But at the same time, he doesn't think that the others will be able to cope with him. Further, some girl told that same Khan that he was too careless, because he was caught and his leg was broken. Khan told her that it was because of a guy who came out of nowhere and not only broke his leg, but also killed two of his dear pets. The girl asked if it was someone from Mao Shan. Han replied that he had not, and that he did not use Mao Shan's materials at all, and that he was just fighting. The girl asked how this was even possible. Khan replied that he did not know this. Han also said that he only knows that that guy is full of yang energy, and that he has never seen a person with so much yang energy, and if he can absorb his yang energy, then he will definitely return to his peak. The girl said that she would help him catch him, but then they would have to share his yang energy and asked if he agreed to this condition. Khan said that there were only 6 people left in their sect, so they should stick together, and when they were restored, they would go together in search of the treasures of their ancestors. The girl agreed with him, and so they agreed. Next, Xiang Tian came to the hospital to see Lin Bingbing and told her that the criminal had escaped. Lin Bingbing asked what happened and asked her to tell him. Xiang Tian told her the whole situation that happened. He also said it looked like they escaped through the maintenance floor. Lin Bingbing asked why he didn't go and find them, and why he was sitting next to her now. Xiang Tian exclaimed that he